Boo, boo, boo.
Do we have any stories? Because I don't.
No, we pretty much got this. It's not letting me go live.
No, you're live.
We're
We've been
live.
for 10 seconds.
Well, what the heck? Well, good morning, everybody. We don't have a morning show today. Intro.
That was weird. That was weird.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's StreamYard being StreamYard.
Yeah, StreamYard has been on crack all week.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh, wait,
And now
hold
we
on.
hear it in the background because Paulie's got it playing. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program.
yeah, it's Monday.
I'm probably going to be
That's
off
what we
camera
got.
more of the day than anything because my whole domicile is being discombobulated because I'm finally getting some stuff done around the house.
Oh,
Andre knows what I'm talking about. He's seen the fruits of my labor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am in pain right now.
Nice-
my arms hurt,
nice-
my back
nice
hurt,
shirt.
my knees hurt. This is a good shirt. I like
Well,
this.
he's in pain. That's the workout shirt.
yeah.
Uh,
That's the
Hey, yo.
workout shirt.
Is it supposed
Hey,
to
yo.
hurt this bad?
I tell you what, Paulie's muted now. He's perma mute.
Good morning, everybody. I'm, of course, Tom Connors. We have with us, as we do usually on Mondays, Mr. Culture Casino.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
Man, the myth, the legend, the beard, as they say.
Yeah, but we have Paulie.
We also have Paulie of the Latino slant, if I can learn how to point in the right direction.
And Tom, you'd be
We could be like E.T.
You'd be in less pain if you stretched every day.
You're
Yeah,
not wrong.
stretching is good. I have
Well,
good
that's-
This
stretching.
is really gay, but let's do
It is. That's kind of part of my whole program here. I'm trying to get into shape. And we got Andre up here who is trying to get in shape as well.
Yeah.
I am, yes, totally. Like I've been letting myself go. It cannot continue anymore. So yeah, now it's back in the gym and hitting the iron once again. Now when the move starts to come a little bit under control, like I've been doing renovations in the house. It's not just this office; it's everything else as well. So yeah.
Well, I'm already experiencing the beginnings of, I've heard plenty of funny stories about, working out as a middle-aged man, right?
Yeah.
So, like, part of the things that I've been doing with this, so what I've been doing is I'm finally dragging out my one-ups and getting them put together.
Oh,
So
cool.
I've been doing a lot of screwing like this. So, like, the other night, I went to pick up a drink and my whole arm locked up. Like, just locked the fuck up. And so I was like, oh man, what was going on here? I've never had this happen before. It's like, okay, so this is the experience I'm getting ready for. It's like every day I keep working out, something new is going to hurt or fuck up or lock up. So I got.
And that's assembly, but hey, it's a start.
It is a start, but we also have another bald man joining us,
Ooh.
Mr. Chris,
Hey.
Brawly man.
Good morning, all.
And I like this. Like it says, the intro was just like that. Night's Edge in the morning. That's right. It just happens.
That's right.
And just like
Spontaneously.
that should be the new title of the show.
Yeah, and just like
Everybody
that.
looks
And with that, we are live.
Mhm.
yes, everybody looks and sounds good this morning. Happy
Yeah,
morning.
That's good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a little
Well-
hoarse. I don't know why.
Are you okay?
You still look human to me.
Oh,
Okay.
man. That reminds me of those roast jokes last night on that Kevin Hart roast.
Dude, he
Ooh.
got wrecked. Tom Brady kicked him in the sack. That was
I saw the
unreal.
whole thing, man.
Woo.
Brady's got game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. But we got some regulars in the chat already. I see like Tim here. We got Dr. Long Dongler. We got D-Bud with a wrench, so watch out.
Uh-oh.
He's really crazy with it. Hey, I am old. That's true.
Willie's out there. Holy cow.
I saw Willie out there. That's right.
I'm older.
Yeah. We got Grimzilla. The regulars are here already. Hit that like button. Share out the link. Let everybody know we are live. I see Dr. Jill over on the Rumble side. We got Davina Duckworth as well. Checkmate's here. Barry the Music Man's here. Well, Barry the Music Man, I think you said you were sick of hearing about Michael the other day. Was that you? I remember. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Be
we
warned.
saw it Sunday. Had a good crowd for an afternoon show.
Didn't I kind of hint this Friday? And then like Saturday, I told Andre, I was like, they're moving Mortal Kombat out of IMAX and moving Michael back in as of today.
Well, it's a
And then-
phenomenon. It's a
Yeah.
phenomenon. That's what we're experiencing.
Phenomena. Beep, 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 beep.
We had
You know,
applause at the end. in
It's
our
something that
Yeah.
no one, maybe except for Tom, I definitely didn't saw coming.
No, kudos
Yes.
to Tom, because Tom did see this coming. He's been singing this movie's praises long before it was released, and also predicted that this was going to be one of the biggest movies of the year. Lo
Yeah.
and behold, it's going to be.
And
I
now
think
I'm
it's a
taking
record
my
for me
mom-
7 times.
I'm taking
So-
my mom Wednesday. It'll be her first
Mm.
and my third. but it's because of all the hubbub. I mean, she's a Michael fan, but she's like,
Yeah.
let's go,
Well,
mijo. I wanna
my
go."
mom's a Motown fan, okay? And
Mm.
at the end of it, when she stood up, I mean, she was dancing. I mean, she loved it. And we had probably half the audience was black. And they were, you could hear a little bit of chatter as things were happening that maybe you knew a little bit more about sort of the backstory on it. And everybody was just so excited. And it was another one of those movies, I think, similar to Project Hail Mary. When you come out of the theater, you feel good. Now, it was whitewashed a little bit. I mean, there were things that I would like to have known. I'd like them to have gone into, not the child allegation stuff, but maybe a little bit more friction with his brothers. Cause I know during that victory tour, there was a lot of jealousy and things like that that were going on, and maybe explain why Joe didn't want them to call him dad or daddy. I mean, little things like that. I think that it skipped over, but man, it was really a fun movie. It was very exciting. And the whole family enjoyed it. We took my brother and his daughter. She's seen it 3 times now. My brother's seen it twice. His wife, that was her first time. It was my mom and my wife. My wife loved it. I mean, she was giggling and laughing through the movie with little things that were happening. And I feel like, I think I've said this before, but you know how the early 70s were so dark and dystopian, and the endings, anti-heroes dying at the end, Easy Rider and Taxi Driver, but then all of a sudden Star Wars comes. I think this is like a smaller version of that taking place, where movies that just give you this awesome feeling at the end of it, even if they're lightweight, you know, I don't think that matters, because again, we just want to be entertained, and we're in this room of in the dark with a bunch of strangers, and there's that friction there. But I think that's something that we crave as a people.
It's rebuilding a common culture, I think. And and to that end, I'm going to ask Paulie a question, because I think he's the right guy to ask. Going forward, do you think we're going to see more music biopics for these stars?
I mean, they're getting greenlit all the time, whether they're get produced or not. Because we've been waiting on that Linda Ronstadt with Selena Gomez. It depends on the particular artist that can bring us all together. Their story. I don't think like a Bob Dylan movie is a great unifier. It's a great film, but it's nothing.
It was a good movie.
Like Michael Jackson.
No. You had Patsy Cline, you had Buddy Holly. You've had these movies and Trans La Bamba that came along. I think
La Bamba was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it was much bigger than like the Buddy Holly movie or whatever. But I think they could do a Stevie Ray Vaughan, but I just don't think it's as you got this pop icon with Michael Jackson. Maybe it'll greenlight a few more, but wow, I don't think there's any artist that could do it unless maybe they did a Prince one. I don't know.
I was gonna say, yeah, Prince is probably the next big one. Maybe Madonna, because they already tried Whitney and that didn't work out too well. Tupac didn't work out too well. See, that's the problem with a lot of these. Is for every La Bamba you have 10 of the Tupac movies. That's the problem. Yeah. Because they do these all the time for television and shit. So there's a formula to them. Michael broke that formula a little bit. A lot of people aren't really bringing this up, because this is one thing I was thinking about last night specifically, was like how Michael isn't your paint by the numbers biopic. It has something very different. And maybe it's because of the fact that the movie had to be torn apart and reassembled. See, that's the fucked up part, is we don't really think about that aspect of it. Because go watch about the 3 or 4 trailers that are out there. There's at least a half a dozen shots of scenes that aren't in the fucking movie. Because, and there's even shots of him from later years. Okay, so as people who are fans of him know exactly what period it is by what the fuck he's wearing. Or his hairstyle or some specifics.
Yeah, but most people don't know that, Tom.
No, I know. But so my point is there's a shit ton of movie left. And believe you me, Lionsgate is sitting there right now going, how the fuck do we mine the rest of this for not just one, but maybe 2 possible sequels?
It's already greenlit. They're already working on it.
I've been hearing more like they're working towards more than one. That's what I keep hearing.
You're on the money here. And going back
Paramount is, and just to finish my point, Paulie, real quick, Paramount is specifically looking into the CBS epic artists like Madonna and Billy Joel and some others now, thinking about what are we going to do? How can we get these more like Michael, basically? But you were going to say, Paulie, I'm sorry.
No. I was saying you're right on point, man. I think the mistake with any of the studios that are going to greenlight, going back to CC's question, is don't expect a Michael type of success. Be smart with that biopic. It is a good genre. It really depends on the artist. And, we even talked about this because La Bamba was greenlit to reboot a couple of years ago, and I've
Oh,
been keeping on track on. And
How's
me
that
and
coming
Tom have
along?
been saying it should be a mini series where you dive deeper into a lot of the stuff that they left out. So it also
Yeah.
depends on, okay, we have a biopic, but maybe we'll make it a mini series. Maybe we'll make it a Netflix movie. I don't know. I'm just throwing that
No,
out
that's
there.
a good point, because like this was one of my biggest fears going into Michael, just to kind of sidestep real quick, was that Jackson 5 miniseries from the 90s that was based on Catherine's book was so good. Like, I'm like, they don't need to dwell on the past all that much. All you got to do is give us a bit basic background and then jump into Michael's story. And that's kind of what they did here. So that was the first thing that started. It was a plus. Secondly, I understand, Chris, like me as a fan, there is so much crap that's missing here that you're going like, how are they going to get a lot of other stuff in here, especially when you get near the end? So they're almost going to have to start doing some kind of flashback scenario thing, where they're going to have to get back into these years that they keep jumping through.
And I agree with you, Tom. You said earlier, I think in last week or maybe the week after it came out, that you felt like it was a little too long. And I think the problem, I realized everybody that went with us, you know, we went to dinner afterwards and they disagreed with me, right? Because
I said it was too short, actually.
And here I was coming in with some critiques, like where was Janet and little things like that. And I know all the backstory on that, but
I think you misunderstood, because I said I actually should have been an hour longer.
No, I thought you said that, and maybe we disagree here, but I think they played the songs. Some of the songs I think just went too long.
Oh, that's what I said. Yes, I said at the expense of the story.
Yeah,
they should have truncated some of the songs so you can get more story elements in here.
At the end, during that victory tour stuff, they played, I think, two complete songs,
two complete whole songs.
The moonwalk 2 or 3 times, and I get that that was a big moment, but I would have loved to have dived into how the promoters, the people that I think that used to own the Patriots, promoted that tour and the negotiations they were having to do because later shows weren't selling out. And I mean, they just skimmed the surface of so many things, but it was fun. And, you know, Paulie and I had this discussion about extending movies that are just too long for themselves. Really, there's just so much story that it kind of caves in on the weight of itself. Miniseries, it may be the way to go, but if you had done a miniseries of this Michael Jackson, you would have left a lot of money on the table, because I was looking at the numbers. When this thing opens in Japan, correct me if I'm wrong, is that not the second biggest market outside the US?
Yeah, and he's huge there.
For Michael? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
for comparison, even in China, they extended the run of the movie.
Unbelievable.
Again, this is a phenomenon, right?
So globally, let's go ahead and put our
Globally.
bets in. I really want to hear Culture's take on this too. This thing could hit 800, I think, easily globally. Because what are we at? Almost 600, 570 something. Has not opened in Korea. Has not opened in Japan. Now they're extending dates that they hadn't originally planned to do. And man, I'm telling you, on a Sunday afternoon at 3:30 in Chattanooga, you had 50 something people in the audience cheering at the end. I mean, I know that's anecdotal, but what do you guys think?
Well, I think you're closing in on 600 million right now globally. And I think that you know, 750, 800 isn't out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. International box office has definitely been bringing it, but the thing that surprises me, and this is, you know, where I think even Tom agrees, is its domestic performance is sitting over 240 million. Which is bonker sauce. But look, at the same time, I don't know about the argument about there was too much music in it, the songs were too long, because right now, you know, if you go to the betting markets or whatever, the fact that the Spotify tracks that are currently streaming are like at the 78, 80 million like listens.
Right.
That's true.
There's 17 songs.
No, I'm just saying
right
that the songs could have still been featured. Sorry, Paulie. I'm sorry. Just to clear this up, I think you could have cut to moments during the songs of things that were going on in the story. I don't think you necessarily had to have the entire performance of the song. That's what I
was getting at.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, but at the same time, and Paul, you can jump off of this, because I think this is what you're pretty much going to get at, is that those performances are what reminded people of why they loved Michael in the first place. And that is why right now all of his music is huge on Spotify and everywhere else, iTunes and all that kind of stuff, worldwide, not just in the US. And it was funny because the first week Michael came out, there was a story, because I can't remember which pop artist it was, but there was one pop artist that was keeping Michael from the top of the charts for one whole week. And it's like Michael in heaven was like, no, we can't have that. And he just, and he's across the board now, number one. So yeah, is that kind of what you're getting at, Paulie? Is that the music is part of the
100%, 100%. I think what you guys are talking about like is a storytelling opinion, which you're not right or wrong, right? Is like you don't need that much of the song. Let's cut. I get it. But the thing is that the catalog has been unleashed again on a new generation, and then the new generation is devouring it.
Yeah,
devouring it on a global level. 17 songs are charting right now.
68 million total listens on Spotify.
Again, this is like when Michael was doing this for the first time, like all over again.
Yeah,
and I'm happy for it. I'm happy for his legacy, for his legend, and it got me going back to all this biopic talk, thinking about Selena, and we talked about this because the movie now is more revered now than ever. Why? Because there was a mini series on Netflix. There was an award-winning documentary that just came out last year. So, whoever owns the estate loves it. Whoever owns the catalog of music loves it because it just gets replenished again. It's almost like doing a reboot of an old film.
It's a reunion.
It's almost like a reboot of Michael's life.
Yeah,
in a weird way,
Yep.
because no matter what everybody threw at him, no matter what happened, especially like the victory tour, like you were just talking about, like there was so much chaos behind the scenes of that. Michael got blamed for so much shit that he had to publicly come out and basically distance himself from his dad and Don King because he was getting blamed for all the problems. So like that's the thing, and he still came out above that and beyond that. And then Bad was another thing. It's like they didn't even get into that how big that album is.
No,
right? Like they concentrate way too much on Thriller.
Yeah. And Don King called him the N-word publicly.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much stuff that went on that I was just shocked that it just, I mean,
but like in real life, Michael rose above all the bullshit.
Yep.
And everybody's like, no, fuck you. We're not going to listen to that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not the N-word. I'm a human. Oh man, before that great joke, I forgot what I was going to say.
Man,
okay. So
yeah, go ahead.
and then it gets people like me who idolized the guy when I was growing up as a kid to deeper dive. So I've been watching videos on the musicians who worked on the damn album.
Oh,
yeah.
And I'm like, what? And it's like one guy is like who did the drumming for
the
Rock
drummer.
With You.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Well, that's Sugarfoot, but then there's a white dude who did Rock With You. And I'm like, look at this old white dude getting down. Anyways, this is just like, again, there's fans like me where I've heard all these songs, but it's like we're doing deeper dives from different angles.
Off the Wall was a great album. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic catalog of music. And they could have gone, you could have showed him in the studio with Paul McCartney. You could have showed Van Halen at the studio playing that solo. I mean, there's so many areas it could have gone, and it just didn't. That I guess it sort of left me wanting more, which is probably what you want.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
kind
There
of
was a
glad
lot
they
of-
didn't do that. Because
there's a lot of fun.
Then it just would have been too many cameos, too many.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. There's a lot of fun stuff. And that's where it could have fell into the typical biopic
Right.
syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Where you have like that scene in Dewey Cox where they're making fun of where all the Beatles are calling themselves by their first and last name and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, we've seen this kind of shit before. Did we miss Janet? Did we miss Diana Ross? Did we miss certain things? Absolutely. But at the same time, the movie makes sure that it gets to the main point of who Michael is, what he's about, and his becoming an adult. And I think that's what this movie is about. And then the second half, I'm sure, is going to be more about the downfall of everything. And I'm sure it's not going to be as, happy-go-lucky as everybody is with this part. And it's understandable, but I'm sure they're going to try and leave it on a high note. They're not stupid.
I don't really see them diving into the controversy because one of the reasons they had to rewrite and reshoot, as Paulie knows, is that part of the settlement that was reached at one point in time required them not to ever have any of that appear in any material. That
Well,
was
the problem
part
with
of
that
the
was-
NDA.
Yeah, the problem with that was because of that statute in California, when the first allegations happened and everything went down, Sony wanted him to pay off the kids, so they did. But then he was under investigation for 10 fucking years.
Mhm.
They tried and tried and tried to find anything they could to nail him with, and they couldn't. And in fact, they even dragged out the old accusations in one of the newer cases, and they were disproven in that case. So at the end of the day, even though he did pay the kids off, a lot of those cases were proven wrong, or they were proven to be lying or whatever.
Specious, yeah.
Yeah, because they were brought in later cases. And again, you want to get to somebody who knows all this stuff and breaks it down really well. Check out Razor Fist videos on it. He's done a great series on it where he breaks everything down intricately and punches holes in all these lies. And again, it's the media, it wants to make us believe this fake story. And it's even ironic because yesterday some idiot posted on X. They said, see, Michael even admitted he was a monster, and they posted the track Monster. Anybody who's a Michael fan knows that's not one of Michael's songs. Infamously, that's one of the songs that one of his accusers sold the estate, claiming it was a Michael Jackson song. Because there was 3 songs on one of Michael's post-mortem albums that they, even though they have a treasure trove of music to choose from, this asshole sold him 3 songs claiming it was Michael Jackson when it was a sound-alike. And any Michael fan can listen to these songs and go, that's not Michael Jackson, not just because of the voice, just because of the way the songs are written.
Yeah.
Because Michael don't write like that. He don't sing like that. He don't sing those kind of things. He don't talk about those kind of things. Anybody who knows anything about Michael knows that that's not his shit. And it did not take long for fans to point that shit out. And guess what? The state went after him and they fucking pulled them from the album. They're not available anywhere except for, you can find them basically bootleg versions now. Or you buy the old album.
Who wants them? I don't want
exactly.
So,
I want them. They're crap.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here. People are diving into his catalog, and the soundtrack I think is part of the problem too, because the soundtrack only has 12 fucking songs on it. But you want to know why? Because they can fit it on a goddamn record album. That's why.
That's right. And there's no
vinyl sucks. I'm sick of it.
Do we want to talk about the other movies in the top?
Yeah. How did
Let's get to the box office. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the goddamn box office. Because it was a hell of a weekend with Devil topping things off, right?
Yeah, I could talk Michael too forever, but I was like, all right, come on.
You're 100% correct.
Well, and I gotta bounce in like 30, but anyway, so Devil Wears Prada 2 did somehow, and again, this is all because of Mother's Day.
Yep.
Eke out a win against Mortal Kombat 2 because it looked like the polar opposite was going to happen going into Friday. And so 43 million, though, that's pretty good. Paulie, this is a very small fall off from, the 70 something million it made last weekend, right? So.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that the incredible word of mouth got out. So the ladies got to plan more for that Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty brilliant in regards to the Devil Wears Prada coming out a week before Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now they're number 1 for 2 weeks.
It's crazy.
Pretty brilliant.
Think about it, though. Look at it. If you look at the per theater average, it came in 3rd place.
Yeah, no, indeed. But that's also because it has the broadest or widest opening currently. It is at 4,200 theaters versus Mortal Kombat. Again, I think rated R kind of hurts as well. 3,500 theaters. So there is a substantial difference there. 700, right? Was my math good?
Because Mortal Kombat did the most per theater.
Yeah, but see, the same thing could be said for Michael because it only fell 33%. It's 17 days in release, guys. When you see these incrementally small tailings, you need to be impressed. Like I said, Devil Wears Prada snuck out a win. Total gross in the States is $144 million to date. Mortal Kombat 2 opens in to 38. I think this number is going to creep up over the next 12 to 15 hours when we get the final numbers for Mortal Kombat 2. I think it's going to be up over that. I think it'd be
this
to
dust
40.
up. There's been a combat at the box office, basically. And this is a good thing. This is the kind of thing the theaters want to see.
Yeah.
Because you have the top 5 movies, only one of them is under $10 million.
Yep.
Well,
that's huge.
It's Billie Eilish.
Well, yeah, but still, and I was just going to get to that. And that movie itself, you could point out that it's in so few theaters compared to the rest that it is doing very well. Well, I'm not surprised, but
my question is,
theaters.
We talked about. You have a question?
Oh, I was just going to ask a question. So, is this the one that Cameron did for Billie Eilish?
Yes.
Yes.
3D cameras.
Okay.
All right.
This is probably his worst opening in decades.
Which is why I think it's so limited, to be honest with you. I think that knowing Cameron, he probably only allowed it to be shown in 3D.
Yep.
In like 90% of the theaters. So like, unless you took it in 3D, you probably weren't going to get it.
Well, I said, look, you know,
That's
don't
just me
sleep on
guessing,
this.
but yeah.
I had said don't sleep on this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
top 5 is still pretty damn good for all
Oh,
the
yeah.
competition. Um, you know, Sheep Detectives and Billy suffered a little bit, but they still got ahead of Super Mario, Project Hail Mary. You know, I mean, I think if it was in the bottom 10, that would be like, wow, this is really bad. I think all the Billy fans came out, but it's
I
probably
don't think
going to
anybody's
die.
painting it as and if anything, like we're saying, it's a big, huge win for her.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, if anything, my guess is the reason why it's only in 2,000 screens is probably James Cameron.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
if I
no,
had to
I'm
take a
with you.
wild
I'm
shot in the
with you on that.
dark,
Well,
because I bet he stipulated it had to be in 3D.
Well,
Probably.
you're right, because look at Mario and Project. They're in more theaters still than Billy. Mhm.
Yep. But speaking of which, deservedly so, Super Mario Galaxy is still pulling in 6.6 million and has 412 million domestic. It's still pulling in repeat viewers. This is what I suspect will happen with Michael, and it's still going to be going strong 40 days in. Again, when I look at a movie that's still pulling 6 million at 40 days, I'm going, okay. It's maybe not as bad as we thought. Project Hail Mary still delivering the similar results, 6
And
million
it's out on
itself.
streaming, isn't it, at this point?
Yeah,
No.
it went out. Yeah,
VOD.
VOD, okay.
Project
Yeah.
Hail Mary is?
yeah.
No, Mario.
No, they pulled Mario back.
What about Project Hail Mary? I think is on VOD.
It went to VOD.
No,
Yeah,
it's
well,
not.
there's-
Isn't
Mary.
Mario and VOD as well? I
No,
think
neither
so.
one of them are. They pulled them both back.
They're
I don't know
not.
why everybody keeps thinking this. I've been saying
Okay.
this all week long.
So
Yeah.
Super Mario, it's the bragging rights because
Yes.
it's very close to $1 billion.
But
so-
Universal did announce they were going to release it this week. You guys are correct, but they
Mhm.
changed their mind. 2 weeks ago is when Project Hail Mary was supposed to be out. They changed their mind. Now they're saying it's
Okay.
going to probably
Tomorrow.
be
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that
Yeah.
correction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was
went-
had to
It's
because
tomorrow.
Valiant and a few other people were going on this thing all week. And I'm like, no. They pulled Mario back. They were going
Man,
to.
You
but
mean
they-
the
they
trades?
waited.
The trades didn't have the whole story. Oh my goodness.
Fine. Give 'em a
Anyway.
break, man, come on.
Well, that was because this weekend nothing went the way that the box that
No.
that they predicted it was going to go.
Yeah.
And Michael is the big upset. Let's be real here. And that's why we
yes.
keep talking about it, because that stirred the pot up, because that disrupted. In fact, if anything, it played better than Devil Wears Prada 2, if you think about it, because that movie's already a month out. Prada's
Well-
only in its second week. And yeah, we were talking before the show how big this could get.
Yeah.
I think it could hit $1 billion. I think it's going to do the Bohemian numbers.
Could do that. It will do 800.
But the sad part is, I think you guys have a point here, and that is that we're living in a world where Bohemian Rhapsody may not be able to happen again.
Yeah.
But being that this is a Lionsgate film, it has that possibility, because I don't think they're going to dump this right away. The only deal I know they have for it is Stars.
Huh.
So Stars
what-
helped paid for part of it.
Okay.
What about
Well, you
Project
have to
Hail
keep
Mary?
in mind that Lionsgate, they don't have a streaming service.
No,
So
and they
the
pre-sold
deals
this
would-
overseas.
Exactly. The deals would already have been made.
Mhm.
So they get a huge chunk of the US box office. All of the international parties that prepaid, they're going to be super duper happy with this, because they're going to profit tremendously as well.
Universal's the one making that money.
Yeah, exactly. The ones who won't be that happy are the streamers, because they're going to have to wait until whatever date was agreed up front.
Well, you want a rumor?
Go for it.
The version that's coming out, we're gonna get an extended cut.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I have to make it more exclusive.
And
Yeah,
I wouldn't
do
be
that for
surprised if we
PCUA.
don't get a sing-along version before the end of the month.
That'd be amazing.
you saying, Polly, about Project Hail
Yeah,
Mary?
you were gonna say something about Project Hail Mary.
I just want to know: are we thinking that it's going to hit 700, or is it done
Close, man.
for bragging rights? You know,
What did it do this week? Again,
It didn't do too bad. It's in the 6 million range still. So
I don't think it'll hit 70.
Yeah, I think Amazon sees this as it's done now, and they're gonna pull it now, because this is pretty much along the lines of what I was hearing too. Is that
52 days though.
They sell it VOD. That'd be nice to know what their VOD numbers are.
Oh, we'll
I
get them.
could yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be a huge. I bet you when this thing drops on video on demand tomorrow,
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the biggest
So,
hits ever
what's
for video on
dropping
demand. I
tomorrow
bet.
on video on demand?
Well, I guess it's Mario and this, so it's going to be a very big
Oh,
day.
it's both. Okay.
I don't
I
know.
think.
Are both of them doing it? I don't know.
Let's find
Maybe.
out. Let's find out. But yeah, I think what's wonderful is that these movies are really ushered in just a kind of like a real great time to go
Well, it's a nice
back to
diverse box office, right, Paulie? I mean,
100%.
movies for everybody.
Okay,
100%.
Super Mario Galaxy is not until May 19th, so it's a
Oh, it's
week
May
later.
19th? Okay,
It's
sorry.
a week later.
They pushed it off another week then. Okay, sorry, my bad.
Well, no, it's because it's still viable. Again,
Yeah.
both of these films, like I said, that 60-day number we keep, talking about, that's like the holy grail these days. Oops. I just turned on a video somehow.
Deep Water
but
on the top 10?
It's this 60-day number that I think everybody's looking
Well,
at.
the one that's also kind of got me surprised, even though it made under $1 million, is that fucking Mummy movie that keeps hanging in there. Like
Lee Cronin, yeah.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like
I mentioned that in my
it's-
box
I hear
office
it's
video.
Very
have you
gross
seen has
pre-
anybody seen it?
No. But I hear from our
Exorcist
reviewer
2, right?
from our reviewer that it's a really gross possession film. It's not really a mummy film, so a lot of people like that.
Yeah, it was repurposed. I gotta
And then we got
say this.
thing, yeah.
I gotta say this. This is the worst look for Angel Studios.
No,
Yeah,
I
that I
disagree.
could've
You know, the
imagined.
worst look
No.
was the way they reacted to it.
Yes.
That was the worst look because they're trying to pretend like this was sent through the guild. I'm starting to question that because there's too many guild members now going that I was not aware of this piece of shit. And now I'm questioning Angel Studios practices going forward. This could be a major snafu for them.
Well, they released a commie film on May Day, a commie day.
Well, and their response to it, did you see that video that we showed last week?
No.
Oh God,
you
that
would
was
have
just
loved
one
it.
thing.
Yeah.
And then they're actually coming out, like I said, and social media and stuff, they're basically defending this whole thing. If they were smart, they should have just let it die, move along, and say, yeah, we'll never do that again.
Take
Just
the L.
ignore the haters
Shut
and
up.
say nothing. Yeah.
Take
Because
the
as
L.
Rita Source says, how is Animal Farm 2026 up to 10? Yeah, well, I don't know, because it's a rising ship or rising tide brings up all ships, however you say it or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, the number of
Rising
film.
tide floats all boats.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
lifts all boats. But yeah, no, look, we only had 25 films reporting the box office numbers. That means there's not a lot of films in the theaters
well, the
right
top
now.
3 plus Billie Eilish are what's taking all the.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Sorry, can
attention.
Lower, I just want to see the rest of the films.
Oh, sure. So Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which we mentioned, the drama, a little more Zendaya for you. Hoppers, 66 days in theaters, guys. Disney's
Disney's
leaving them
desperate
in.
to try and get that thing up there as much as they can.
Disney, yeah.
Yeah,
Can you keep going down? I'm just curious.
yeah.
Thank you,
I'm
Rita
still
Source,
going.
for the $2. I just wanted to bring that up since we were discussing it.
Polly, what is that time I got reincarnated as a slime? The movie.
I have no idea.
I guarantee you that's an anime just by the
It is.
title.
Yeah.
There's a movie. There was an indie movie I'm looking for, but I predicted it was gonna.
Is it
was
the
gonna
Mad
flop.
Bill?
Why does every anime title translate like that?
I don't know.
My
Blue
teacher
Heron-
is a Super
Oh, you in there?
Saiyan, and I have lunch.
Well, the
You know.
funny thing is that probably that title already is localized because probably it would have been
Anime.
called, like, literally in Japanese, it would be something like "I love gooey slime" or something like that.
Right.
So that's
All
what they
right.
call a bunch of their things. I love this. I love that.
So I'm gonna say that most of these films that are down on the bottom of this list were stealth released. Because look at this, from Blue Heron down, these things nobody's in more than 100 theaters. Blue Heron is now down to 97, and everything below that is like 2, 87, 55, 2, 51, 55. Why are some of these not going out at scale, Paulie?
I'm sorry. I was telling people in the chat to smash the like.
Oh,
I don't
thank
have
you.
enough likes. Come on, people. Smash
Yeah, we
it.
need more likes. But why are some of these films under Blue Heron? Why are they not in broader release? Why are we limiting it to two? Is this their premiere? Python Hunt was in one theater. It made $13,000 from that one theater over the weekend.
Well, without knowing the films and who their what do you call it? Their studios that's behind them as the trash cans come right on time. Why don't you go to someone else right now?
Oh, I can kind of tell you the main
All right,
reason because you've got 3 movies that are dominating the box office, 3.4 with the Billie Eilish. And what
Right.
that does then is leave all the room up for the movies that normally they would spread out that money. And plus there's extra people going to the theater this weekend. That's the thing I think we're not talking about.
Oh, because the
What's the
Mother's Day.
overall?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the overall box office compared to what we're used to too?
Yeah,
That's the thing.
it's up over 100 million, as I said
That's
at the
what I was
beginning of the
saying,
segment. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
when we look at so let's pull this movie out, because this one had a lot of like heat behind it on from the Hollywood side, was Mother Mary, you know, the fake female pop star film, which is a recurring trope in Hollywood. But why did this thing do this? Again, this film released in 5 theaters for the first week it existed, and then they went to 1,100. I don't understand the strategy.
Well, that's the old limited release type of
Yeah,
deal
but it doesn't work. Nobody does that anymore.
No.
So anyway, $160 million in total across 25 films, and many of which I just wanted to point out, these lower ones after Blue Heron, including it, is in less than 100 theaters.
Well, okay, so a few of them will be in less than I would say a dozen theaters, and only maybe in 2 major cities, just so we can qualify. For whatever
Right.
reason, maybe there's these independent dramas that are trying to qualify, or a contractual. You know, it's contracted. It's like, you know, you're going to get 2 weeks in the theater, and then you're going to
A streaming service.
you're going to stream it. That's part of the
Yeah.
contract. You know, Klika did that. Mad Bills to Pay
Right.
was out for like 1 week.
Yeah.
It's probably going to go streaming. And then Fireflies and Mazote was still in theaters, bringing in a couple bucks. But you know, that's you know, when I saw that Fireflies, it was a packed house, mainly of Salvadoranian people, because it was about Salvadoranian Civil War. So they probably saw that and like, all right, we can still keep it in 3 theaters in LA or something.
So
Yeah.
primarily art house kind of.
Art house.
Well, so there's
fodder.
2 movies on here that you can look at that you're asking about culture, like what's going on here. The Python Hunt, right? $13,000 in one theater over 3 days. That's huge. But I'm guessing that theater was in Florida because it's a documentary.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Government mandated hunt
Yeah.
for pythons. You can just going public. The other one is this Blue Film, which is doing 15 grand a night or 10 grand a night in a couple of theaters. Blue Film is basically a movie about a cam boy getting paid to be a whore for a older man. I mean, so it's very niche. So it's probably playing in
2 theaters.
2
yeah,
theaters in
San
West Hollywood.
Francisco,
There you go.
probably. I don't know. Right.
Just say it. Just
I was
Why
just
it's
curious.
such a big deal. I don't know why either of these movies did those kind of numbers, but I'd say it's some sort of local promotion.
Yeah, I just like I said. I mean,
Mother Mary is a good, interesting one that you.
This is the weirdest thing. I like this type of release doesn't work anymore. It hasn't for a long time.
No.
So I don't understand it. We're in 5 theaters for a week, you know, and then we up it to 1,100, and then now we're down at 570, and now we're down to 55. This thing never had a chance. I don't know how much it cost, but it again, it's a trope that has not worked, and we don't need more of that.
I think people in charge get wild ideas and they don't always pay off.
Yeah.
Why don't we
Well, anyway,
Which one are we talking about?
the
fake pop icon, Mother Mary.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I don't know what the budget was. I'm gonna assume it was maybe if they were
20
smart
mil.
enough,
Come on.
20 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 20 million and Anne Hathaway. It's gonna be in theaters. Not necessarily regardless if it's a good movie or not. It's a low budget film with a name. Then it'll probably get on streaming really soon, and it'll make their money back.
Some
Well,
people
but
might think it's a sequel to Project Hail Mary. Who knows?
well, what I'm seeing here though is to kind of answer the question overall though is it making sense though that we have those bigger films so that these other movies that ain't making much, but there's room for them on the top 10, top 20 now to actually be there, as opposed to before where, the money would be spread out among the other films.
Yeah.
Because to me, this is a good thing to see. This is the way the box office should be like normally.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michael is helping here, but that should just be like, we should normally have a movie that's playing that well, surprisingly.
See, my argument would be that the top 10 need to all make like 10 million or more. I mean, that would be the optimum. And we used to do that.
Have, and that's my point. Well, in this case, they would have, but look, you got 3 major films making over $30 million each, one at 40, right? Like that's not a bad thing for theaters. That's good diversity. That means you're filling a lot of different theaters. You're not having just one movie take over all the screens and or packing everybody you can into 2 screens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you have a various diverse. I mean, look at the top 5. That's basically any small multiplex, or the top 6 with Mario, because of course they're going to have Mario or Project Hail Mary still, right? Yep. So that's the thing. It's an embarrassment of riches right now for theaters. Yeah, there's plenty of options. Like that was the thing that bothered me for years. It's funny. I've seen Michael 7 times in the theater. I don't think I went to the theater 7 fucking times last year.
So going off that, if you scroll down a little lower, I'd agree, because a lot of these films, like Super Mario, Project Hail Mary, and the drama, and even Hoppers, right? They're ending their runs, but they made money, and they're still in a few theaters, because like Tom said, it's like, well, maybe they wanted to go see Super Mario, but they didn't make the time or it sold out, so they're going to go see something like a Hoppers or another family film. But the drama, what's great is that movies like the drama, The Mummy, is that these movies are just so different. So there's a nice wealth of different types of storytelling going on.
That's what I was saying. A great diversity of stories at the theater. We're not just having all superhero movies or all horror or all whatever. We've got romantic comedies. You've got romantic drama. You've got drama. You've got your biopic in there, which is its own kind of animal. You've got some comedy mixed in there, I think, with The Devil Wears Prada as well, you could figure. You got a couple of kids movies with Hoppers and Super Mario. You got the family film with Project Hail Mary, which also works as a sci-fi film. Yeah. You've got a nice, diverse collection of what it used to be like to go to the theater every weekend in the 90s or 80s. This is the closest that I could tell kids nowadays that didn't live in that era. This is what it was like almost every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good. It's healthy. I like to see it.
I mean, the number one movie the last 2 weeks again is a sequel of what? How old is that film? The first one?
20.
Yeah, man. I didn't
think it was 95 or 96. I think when the first one came out.
I didn't think it was going to do this.
It was a little later than that. Maybe it was a little. No, it was like 2000 something. So it's like 15.
But everyone, the women and and whatever crowd loves the fashion and Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, she's everywhere right now too.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Hathaway. She's got Odyssey.
I just think like Mother Mary is a good example of. It's just like we're just gonna ride the coattails. We know this is movies not for everyone, but
But
we can.
That's the beauty of the diversity in the box office, Paulie, is that they used to make movies for specific audiences, and that's kind of what we're seeing here, right? Devils Wear Prada. That's made for your, rom-com / women-driven, gay-driven audience, right? Mortal Kombat II, the guy-driven audience, right? Michael,
and
that's for everybody.
We could totally see that in the metrics as well. It was like 70% male audience for Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Okay. And it's Michael, pretty young as well. The majority of audience were like in their 20s and 30s.
And then you got Michael, of course, and then Sheep Detectives, which I said don't sleep on that one. That did pretty well considering most people had written it off. And the Billie Eilish thing. I mean, I feel like that could have done better. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we don't find out that a lot of theaters didn't take it because they were going to be forced to take it in 3D.
I don't think it has the music magic right now. I think the timing.
Well, it's not as big as Taylor Swift, but Billie Eilish is still pretty big.
Right, but I'm just saying that I think music magic right now is Michael. Maybe there's not room in people's headspace for a Billy. But Sheep Detectives is getting great word of mouth.
Production budget on the Billie Eilish thing was 20 million. They pulled in an international total of 20 million.
And it was all prepaid for. It's like the Taylor Swift concert. It's all feeding into itself. Yeah. But again, I don't think concerts are a bad thing to put in theaters, and people are already clamoring for the Bad tour because they got a bunch of footage for the Bad tour, and they did release
That'd
a concert
be amazing.
That people are like, we want to see it in IMAX, and it'd be nice because they just did the Elvis one too, where Baz Luhrmann,
that went actually pretty well, despite the fact that everybody had seen it a million times on TV. So
yeah. So I mean, this I wouldn't be surprised if this is another thing that the studios and the theaters start looking into, is especially with like the premium screens. If you can go see like an IMAX concert kind of thing, I think that could be big for them. Because I mean, look, I like going to concerts, but I don't like the bullshit of going to concerts. And 9 times out of 10, the few times I've been to a concert, I'm so fucking far away, it doesn't matter. I might as well not even be there. Because you got to either watch them on a big fucking screen or whatever anyway. So it's like, might as well just watch them in an IMAX theater or something like that, because it's the same thing.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of stadium tours like the Stones and Paul McCartney and a few others. And, the video screens make up for a lot that's missing from that actual experience. If you're up in the nice little
But that's what I'm saying is like seeing that in like, an IMAX or a Dolby theater or something like that is the next closest thing you're going to get to it probably.
Yeah, cranes and cable cameras and all that bring that to you beautifully. So.
I just double checked our review of the Sheep Detectives. Since Corner gave it a 9 out of 10. She never does that.
Wow!
What?
Wow!
Really? See, now that looked like intriguing to me in the previews.
I might go see it. I wanted to try to get my mom to go see it yesterday, but it was too late. But it looks interesting enough to where I'm like, it might just be a cute little movie that I know my mom would like, so that's why I think it's doing all right. So, like your Hallmark type movies with a talking dog and.
Well, Hurt's a little deeper than that too. It has all those elements, and then what Sin was saying is that it actually is kind of profound.
Well, it's based on a novel too, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then Romy wants
Chato
to
not
see
being
it.
here.
Romy wants to see it because of Hugh Jackman and the whole murder mystery. So
yeah,
there you go.
Well, I know we're losing culture. So, any final thoughts on the box office before you take off?
I'm interested in the fall off next weekend, and that's going to be the thing that concerns me the most. I think.
I have to say, I'm very disappointed in audiences for not sufficiently going out to support Mortal Kombat 2 because it kicked ass.
I had a very positive review of it, but I still gave it a 6 out of 10. Because again, if you do what the material was, if you do this as a video game thing and they were stacking 2 different video games together, 2 and 3, in order to build this story, then you had a good time. If you didn't have any background with this, it probably wasn't a very good film for you.
Yeah. So I think most of those that did go did have some kind of background, but yeah. But hey, that's me.
I was going to go on to something else in regards to Mortal Kombat, but I don't know if culture is going to stick around.
Oh, I gotta drop out. But anyway, it was good to see everybody. I really enjoyed this morning. I like everybody's perspective on the box office because I feel like we've got a few films in theaters now that are allowing us to share a common culture for a change. And it's been a long time since we've been able to do that. So hopefully we get more and more of those kinds of films.
Before you go, we have a member chat here. Sure. Dark King's been a member for 61 months, says, how time flies, indeed. How is the box office total for 2026 looking so far? 2025 was a pretty lean year. Just wondering if the theaters will have to start large-scale staff layoffs soon. I thought that was a good one for you.
It's bigger at this point. I think Disney came out yesterday, Polly, correct me if I'm wrong, that they'd crossed 2 billion already for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's always a good sign. Disney's one of the leaders in the clubhouse when it comes to making tentpoles. Tentpoles are always successful. Tentpoles are always kind of an indicator for where we're going to end out at the end of the year. I wish we could get Paul Digg or Benidi in here because he would really be able to break it down. But I fully expect this year to be much better than last. And I think bringing in the tail end with Disney's Avengers Doomsday, if it's a success, I think that'll also elevate elevate the box office. But so far at this stage, I think Disney coming out and saying we're already crossing 2 billion. That's a good indicator. So on that note, thank you guys. Love you. See you.
Take care.
Joining us.
Indeed. So yeah, I think this is good overall for theaters. I think that as long as they can keep this momentum going, which is up to the studios to keep bringing out movies that people want to see and at least are decent.
Yeah.
That's a positive for everybody involved, and going forward, hopefully they can figure out what works and what doesn't work. I mean, listening to us helps. If you'd listen to us, you'd know half the shit that would work. But,
that's why you got to hit like on this video.
That's
so
right.
Listen to
That's
it.
right. I just want to talk about Mortal Kombat 2 real quick.
Yeah, we can talk about Mortal Kombat.
Did you see it?
No. I want to talk about the actor, Joe
okay.
Taslim. He's in Mortal Kombat, and there's a lot of people talking about Joe in the chat, and he's in the Mortal Kombat 2. He was in, what's his character that he played? He plays Noob Salbot in
Noob
Mortal Kombat.
Cybox, yeah.
Okay. So he's an incredible Indonesian martial arts actor, and he's going to be in a movie that I saw called The Furious, that he's a star in, and it comes out. It was supposed to come out now, and their Lionsgate pushed it back to June 12th, I believe. I saw it last month for a Lionsgate screening. I got to hold my review, but I can tell you guys, it is incredible. It's the Raid's choreography team, some of the same actors. So if you guys look out for that movie, they moved the date, and I'm glad they're doing that because it would have gotten buried, Andre.
I was gonna say, this sounds like a situation where it wasn't so much that they don't have confidence in that film; it's that they want to let Michael keep. They don't want anything to disrupt that, and they want to maximize this film's possibility. So that makes more sense to me, and that also probably gives us an idea of when Michael might be hitting streaming too.
Yeah, and just for martial art combat fans, Hong Kong film fans, it's good to give it its own little pocket. So it's June 12th, I believe. It's called The Furious. Look it up. I also did a reaction to the trailer. It's basically a martial arts Sound of Freedom. Yeah, like there's a strong message there. But
well, this is cool because I can see Lionsgate actually gives a shit about the product, unlike Disney and certain other studios where they'll release 10 movies on top of each other and then they'll bitch because something will bomb. It's like, well, duh, because you really, like, Disney's a great example. They're the worst case scenario of this. They always do this shit to themselves. Right here, they've got 2 movies up against each other, basically, Hoppers and Devil Wears Prada and stuff like that. But they did this the same time when Solo came out because it was up against Avengers, and they put Incredibles 2 out like a week or 2 after Solo. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're cannibalizing your own audience here. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's smart.
It's good to see Lionsgate do that because that's a good move because that shows confidence in that film. Plus, that means that they, what we already seeing is that Michael's doing much better than they anticipated it was going to. So, but
Andre, we'll see Mortal Kombat 2 this week. I promise.
Yeah, awesome.
You still ain't seen it yet?
Must.
I have. We've been working hard this past.
Well, it's kind of disappointing that. I mean, that's kind of the one thing we didn't really touch on too much was how it didn't really perform. In fact, it did about as well as the original, but there's a problem with that, right, Andre? The original was released at the same time and streaming by Koala, so
pretty much.
Yeah. So what does everybody think that the problem was here? Because Andre and I enjoyed the film. Did you see it, Chris? I didn't catch if you saw it. Okay, so
yeah, we're still in the same boat as Friday.
Our reviewer saw it; he loved it, but
everyone I heard, say they love it.
Yeah, it might have legs. It might, people might have said, "Oh man, we got to go see Michael. We got to go see whatever they hadn't seen yet for this weekend, and maybe it does better next weekend." I don't know. I don't think it'll.
If I had to take a guess,
yeah.
If I had to take a guess, what happened is I think people didn't like the first movie, so they were waiting to see the word of mouth on this one.
Yeah,
and you also had some poisoning with the whole katana bit. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are trying to sell that as girl bossy shit. which is kind of strange because of how many people come after us for liking the first film and claiming we didn't know shit about the franchise. But look, at the end of the day, I mean, I did some research this time out before I saw the film. I thought they did a great job of cleaning up whatever problems the first film had and delivering what the audience expected. I mean, in my audience, it wasn't a huge audience. I kind of knew something was up when there was basically the same amount of people in the first showing of Mortal Kombat that there was in the last showing of Michael.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is a problem for Mortal Kombat. And then, but during the movie, the audience loved it. Like, I mean, every kill got great reactions and the laughs all landed. I mean, there was even, I think, one cheer at the one fight with Johnny Cage and another person. I don't know if we want to get into spoilers, but like, yeah, I thought that the movie itself, I think it does a fine job of entertaining the audience. And I think people are underselling that, you know, like there's like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, no, I don't think you guys are understanding how hard you were on the first film and the accomplishment that the people that made this did. Because I think that people aren't giving enough credit because they kind of pulled a Sonic, but the fans aren't really giving them credit for it because there's a lot of issues I'm finding out just in general with the whole Mortal Kombat fandom that I didn't want to get into, but like you've got different sects and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot like some of our other fandoms I'm starting to learn, but no, I'm curious what you guys think though. Otherwise, do you think that's the main reason why it underperformed was just because of the first film, or what do you guys think?
I think you do have a segment of the intended audience that have decided to wait, right? And I also think that no matter what they've done, you've got a segment of the intended audience that are just going to say, I'll just wait till it's on streaming because they're not, you know, they it's the fool me once crowd, right? And they may just say, I'm just going to wait until it comes on streaming, which is tough for Mortal Kombat 2 because, you know, the longer you put it off, the sooner it's going to come to streaming. And then you're going to have your pirates and everything else that just say, oh, well, you know, it came, it went. Will there be a sequel? Who knows?
Well, Andre, I mean, I'm sure one of the reasons you're going to bring up is that it's been 5 fucking years since the last film.
That's one thing. It's 5 years. The first one wasn't considered all that good upon release, but I think there is another aspect to it as well.
Sure.
Which is, what's the cap for a Mortal Kombat movie? Could it be that opening to 40 million is as big as a Mortal Kombat movie can possibly open, because that is the size of the built-in audience, and who isn't familiar with it but inclined to go to that kind of a movie? I mean, there's no 4-quadrant appeal here. This is a movie for the guys and for the gals who either go with the guys or who are gamers themselves. But I think there's a limit here in the appeal. And the movie came in at 80 million, and I'm glad it didn't cost any more than that. But even that, in a sense, may have been too much, because it could be that opening to 40 million.
I thought it was like half
as
of that.
high as it goes. No, it's 80. It's 80
was it
million.
80? Okay, for some reason I thought it was 40 million for the
No,
budget.
80. 80.
Was the first one 40? Maybe that's what I saw instead.
Yeah, this one is actually more expensive than the first one.
And then worldwide, it's made 61, so it'll make its budget back.
It will, but honestly, I was hoping that because now it's had a 5-day release, and it's still only at 60 million worldwide. I mean, honestly, at this point, it really needed to clear its total production cost. I mean, it should have been past 100 million now, if we're completely honest. I mean, I have to be honest here. Like, I really enjoyed the movie, but I think what we're seeing here is a slight underperformance.
Oh,
I would agree. I want to agree, and I want to add on to what Andre is saying. Rosa saw it for us, gave it a high score, loved it, knows all the characters, gonna go see it again.
Oh, there you go. Knows all the characters.
Right?
So she's one of those.
She used to play it.
Was predisposed to like it because she used to play it. But what about all the other gals out there who, or guys for that matter, who didn't play it? For them, it's like, okay, I was never a gamer. This is just some random movie. And it's may not give us a chance because if it's a video game, I'm not familiar with it, I'm not going to check it out. Just because they know it's a video game they're not familiar with. I mean, just because it's based on the brand, if you're not familiar with that brand and you don't know if it's going to be accessible to you, like for instance with comic book movies, it took a good while for the general audience to get used to the idea, hey, I can actually go into this comic book movie without ever having read the comic books, and I'm going to have a hell of a time anyway. That wasn't always the case. I mean, it took many years to get to that point. For that like wide appeal to kick in. Video game movies, I mean, I don't think that's like as big as comic book movies were ever going to be. I honestly think that there is an exclusionary factor there. Yeah, you include all of the gamers, however casual, but just by virtue of being a video game movie, it's also a little bit like exclusionary. Because I know that I felt that myself when I saw, for instance, Iron Lung. Like, I had no idea of the video game, nothing like that. I think in that case, most people don't. But I did feel as though I'm missing out on something here, especially when the lead character wakes up. You don't know anything. I mean, of course, that's intentional, but I felt as though I'm missing out here because I'm not familiar with the game. And I have to believe that there's a lot of more people like that out there who see a video game movie. That's not for me. I'm not familiar with it. Like, I've seen the headlines, know that it is something, but here's even a Mortal Kombat 2, where the first movie came out 5 years ago. I think many people are going to sit it out.
Yeah, I think you brought up the main issue here. Besides, like, I think that this is the ceiling for, because Mortal Kombat is arguably the most famous video game franchise underneath of like Mario and Sonic, probably, I'd imagine. I mean, as far as longevity and people, as far as like what Pac-Man, yeah, but I mean, as far as like, but what kid nowadays would even know what Pac-Man is? If you show them Mortal Kombat, like they may have never played Mortal Kombat, but they can see a picture of Scorpion or see the logo, and they'll know that's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So I think the problem we're seeing here is a few folds. I think we're seeing the ceiling on what people are willing, the people that are willing to go see a Mortal Kombat movie in theaters. I think Andre is right. And we saw that same exact number with the first movie. But there was plenty of people who were willing to sit at home and watch it. So I think this movie is going to be doing fine on streaming. But I think Andre's right. I think we saw the ceiling on what we're going to see for the theatrical release on something like this. And this should be something to show the studios that all the video game movies are not going to work like comic book movies are. Especially when a movie like Mortal Kombat, which is arguably in the top 5 or 10 at least, most well-known, video game franchises, can't even bust a $50 million opening weekend. And I mean, Sonic was a success, but we oversold how big of a success that really was when you stop and think about it and step back and look at it at the grand scheme, especially when you compare Mario to Super Mario to Sonic. It's a huge canyon of difference there in the box office, right? So there's like one huge video game entity that you can use and bank on for sure, which is Mario, and the rest are a fucking crapshoot. You have no idea. You might get lucky and one might catch on. I'm willing to bet that a lot more people went to see Iron Lung because of who made it than actually played the fucking video game.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's another problem you have, is because you have this disconnect between an audience that will go see a video game movie that are gamers and that won't go see a video game movie that are gamers. And then you just have the general audience, right? Because there's a lot of people in the audience here that still say, yeah, the movie was good, but they didn't do this, they didn't have this thing, and they didn't do this right. And we ran into the same issues with the first film when we were reviewing it, was everybody like, yeah, but that's not the lore, but that's not the lore. And I'm like, well, which lore are we going by then? Because I still did my research, and I still stand by that. Because they rebooted the franchise so many times at this point. Like, which lore are you talking about? Because there's been soft reboots and hard reboots and whatever reboots. So at this point, to me, whatever, these things are not going to be what they think they're going to be. Mortal Kombat hit its ceiling. Sadly, it's a movie that deserves better, but I just don't think it's going to get there. And I just don't think it's going to be able to do the same thing for any other video game movies going forward.
I think you nailed it. I mean, what, Crash Bandicoot? Are they going to do a movie series on that, or Pac-Man or something? No, I think, and Sonic, I think, cost more at first because they went back and redid it. And now that they've got all those models, it's just a matter of what's Jim Carrey's budget. What do we got?
Well, now they're cashing in with all the sequels. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But You know, I mentioned last week I'd love to see a Dino Crisis, but I want to amend that. I want to see a Turok Dinosaur Hunter adaptation. I think that could be fun. But what is the but when I think about Turok Dinosaur Hunter, right? It's kind of like when we were sitting there in the theater and all the trailers are playing, and Mandalorian is followed immediately by Supergirl, the new Supergirl trailer. And there are people, it's almost like they intentionally hide the Supergirl logo. You do see Superman at the beginning, but my wife said, isn't this the same movie we just saw a trailer for? Because it was right after the Mandalorian. And don't get me started on them deciding that the Hutts speak English. I don't even want to go there because it looks ridiculous. But I think that some of these movies, like for instance, if they did a Turok Dinosaur Hunter, well, the average Joe, the average normie out there that sees that trailer is probably going to immediately go, that's not what I'm looking for in a movie.
100%. Great
yeah,
example.
and I think that's what's going on too a little bit with Mortal Kombat 2. You think about it, because it already has that, that might not be for me aspect just based on its content. And now this is a sequel. I hope that they've made some good deals on streaming so that they can do a sequel to it, because it sounds like it deserves it. But you might be right, Tom. I think it might have peaked.
The problem with this is it's an HBO film, or a Warner Brothers film, so it's going to go to HBO Max.
Exactly. There's no streaming money coming there.
Boy. Yeah,
just video on demand money. And again, I don't know if that's going to be very big. I think we've seen the ceiling on this. I think that when we saw the people that were willing to get off their butts and go see the first movie in theaters is the same exact amount of people pretty much that went to see this one.
Yeah.
And the weird thing was, in my screening it was totally against the demographics. Like, I could not understand why my screening was the way it was, because I'm not surprised that Andre said that the audience skewed 70% male. But what I was surprised is that my audience was like 70% female. So I'm like, what the hell is going on with this movie? And at first I thought, okay, so maybe this movie was tapping into something else, but now I'm started to realize slowly that, no, this movie is just not going to do it. And this to me is kind of a sign that hopefully Hollywood will see that banking on these video games is not going to be the next comic book thing. It's not going to be your next 10 years of films. It's just not going to work. It's just too niche. You've got too many moving parts. It's worse than a novel. Because at least even with a novel, the worst thing you're going to have is most people are going to say, well, the book was better. Right? But the problem with the video game is you have so many different moving parts and aspects to it that unless you do something like the Final Fantasy movie where it's completely unrelated to anything else in the movie and you're just using the title, or you specifically try to key on a specific game and follow that lore, you're not going to make anybody happy. It's just not going to work. I mean, this movie was better than the last one for most people, but again, I'm still seeing some of the same gripes as the last film. So to me, I see this is the problem with video game movies. You're just never going to be able to please enough people for them to be a hit. Unlike maybe Mario, which is the only one that stands above that, maybe because Mario is just so easy to adapt. I don't understand what else works about Mario other than he's Mario. I mean, what can you say? I mean,
yeah, it's just going to have to be something that's meta, like a meta version of Grand Theft Auto or something. I don't know.
Even that would be difficult to translate. We talked about that last week. I don't know if you were here, Chris, because like I said, the closest we're going to get to it is like Fall Guy or Tulsa King is about the closest you can get to a Grand Theft Auto movie or show.
Yeah.
Because what else can you do? You're either just going to do one of the stories from the game, which this is the sad part about, and this is why I brought up Grand Theft Auto to begin with, because we're eventually going to get to a point where it's a snake eating its own tail, because a lot of these games are based on properties that already existed, but you're just getting to live them out, right? Like, because a lot of the Grand Theft Auto games are based on Scarface or whatever gangster movie that they wanted, Goodfellas or what have you. So, like,
Can I
when
chime
you
in?
start doing that, we brought up Golden Axe being a ripoff of Conan, right? So at what point are we going to get to a point where it's like, well, why would we go see that when we already have one over here that's based on, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other problem with it. You were going to say something, Paulie?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in. I think there was a big failure on the release date and the timing for Mortal Kombat, because everything you guys said, I agree with, but it's Mother's Day that just passed.
Yeah.
Very curious as to how it would have done if it was released this coming week.
Mortal Kombat?
Yes, Mortal Kombat 2.
Mhm.
Obviously, I don't think anyone could foresee the Michael avalanche. However, I think it would have. I think the pocket is just didn't benefit them because of everything you guys said. It's like, well, what do we do? Push it back a few months? But they had to go with it. I just think that with the competition, I actually think they still did pretty decent.
They did. But I see what
Mhm.
you're saying, Paulie. I think they would have benefited from pushing it off to like July or August, possibly.
Mm.
I think it would have been better for them. But then
mean,
again,
You know what I think?
Go ahead,
Moving
Andre. I was
it-
going to say.
Moving it up 1 week would also have done wonders.
Mm.
Because I see
think
what they're
this-
doing.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of movie that's going to be front loaded and front heavy. Like, I don't think this thing is going to have much legs.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a blitz. All the fans are going to see it really, really fast. And then the normies aren't going to really, really check in. I think it should have opened last week. When I saw it, which was last Friday, not like the Friday was, but Friday a week and a half
In
ago.
between, the same
Yeah,
weekend that Devil
that's what-
dropped.
Yeah, that's when everyone should have seen it.
It should have been counter-programming to Devil. I agree with you. Or
Yes.
they should have done it earlier in the year or pushed it off to August.
Yes.
Because any of those scenarios still puts it up front of Street Fighter 2. But it's funny you
Indeed.
brought this up, CS, because I sent an article to Andre about this very reason. Do you know why they moved it from October to this year? Anybody?
Which one are you
Because
talking about?
Mortal Kombat, it was supposed to come out October of last year.
Yeah.
It was done.
really?
They didn't do any reshoots. They didn't fix it or do anything to it.
Okay.
There was a
tell us.
reason why they pushed it off. Because Warner Brothers saw that Superman did well enough that their books were fine. They pushed it off so they could help that it could help this year's box office.
Ah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought they didn't want to go against Tron Ares or something.
No, it was basically. I'm sorry, this goes against everybody's narrative about Superman. Superman did well enough for their books. They're like, all right, let's hold off on that one because they thought it was going to be big.
Mm.
They thought Mortal Kombat 2 was going to probably do twice as much as the first movie did.
Yeah.
Boy, were they fucking wrong.
And that's
Yeah.
a problem because that means that internally in the studio, this is now considered a disappointment. Do they
Mhm.
then proceed with part 3?
That's the next question, Andre, and it's funny you bring that up because I had just got some news about that. There was scenes that were setting up a part 3, guys.
Yes, there were.
They were deleted. Because as this
Wow.
movie got closer and closer to release, they are starting to see the writing on the wall.
Oof.
So let me tell you, this did not take Warner Brothers as surprise as you think it did. The thing that they weren't anticipating was Michael. And I think that's what hurt it most of all.
Mm.
Because a lot of the audience that probably would have been like, there's nothing else to see. Let's go see Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
Instead went to go see Michael again, is what it seems like happened. And just a lot of the regular crowd. And that's the thing is you see a lot of our audience, our panel is a good example of it. We are the demographic for this movie. And only half of us saw it.
Mhm.
That's what's going on right now. It's like half of the people that saw the first one basically went to see this.
Hmm.
That's only the half that went to see the first one in theaters, probably.
were they thinking Mother's Day counter programming because they already had it? With
I think it was
Michael.
counter programming. I think is
You
what they
already
were
had it
thinking.
with Michael and even residue of Super Mario and Project. Super Mario and Project both made what, $6 million each? They
Mhm.
would have loved that $12 million.
And that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I think that they didn't expect Michael to have the legs and the power. It's become a behemoth they weren't expecting.
Mhm.
Because of how they think inside the bubble,
Mm-hmm.
they anticipated that we would react to Michael the way they did.
Yes.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
They thought that Michael was going to roll out and flop.
Yep.
Well, see, now you're like, okay, how is Masters going to do? How is Supergirl going to do? How is Street Fighter going to do?
I actually, I'd be scared if I was Street Fighter right now.
Street Fighter's got benefit though.
It has benefits, but the only thing it's got going for it is that people are talking about it that much more than Mortal Kombat.
I think Supergirl's going to do better than Mortal
Supergirl has
Kombat.
look, here's the thing with Supergirl, and I noticed a lot of murmurs in the theater amongst the female, because there's so many females in the audience when Supergirl trailer came on. That was the one that got the most reaction before Mortal Kombat.
My 16-year-old niece is going.
Yeah, so I think that we can't sleep on that one. That one's going to be an oddball one just because it's not in our demographic, just because we don't see that. And I've been trying to tell people this, and this is what my people have been telling me over there from Warner's, is that they don't know where all this bullshit's coming from other than Snyder Bros.
Mm.
Because maybe you guys aren't going to see it, but it doesn't matter because the younger crowd is. And that's what they were going for. So this Supergirl is playing to that audience. It may not be for us at the end of the day. This might be one of those things we have to go and say, look, this thing has bypassed us. You know, it's like, Superman is so old that, you know, that's one thing. Masters of the Universe is going to be the one that I think the fans either love or hate. And I think that's the one that we're going to have the most debates about. Because you're going to have that small sect of the fandom, like Andre and I, who actually were kids when it came out and grew up with it in a specific way. And then you're going to have the outsiders. You're going to have the ones that were just too young when it came in, or they were just too old when it came in. And they both have different points of view on what Masters of the Universe is. And unfortunately, this movie is going to play towards the general audience, which means it'll probably do okay box office wise. But I think you're going to have a similar problem to Mortal Kombat, where a lot of the core fan base of He-Man are going to be like, it looked cool, but it sure the fuck wasn't He-Man. See, and that's going to, the problem I'm going to have with it too. Because I can see from the trailer already that that's what the problem with it is. But Amazon's banking on this bitch, and they hope it's going to do well, so we'll see. We were only a month or so out from it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
I got my ticket.
Ready or not?
So yeah, that's not good news for Mortal Kombat 3 then.
No, so it sounds like Mortal Kombat 3 is
DOA
up in the air.
Yeah, just like Mortal Kombat 2 was.
You know, last week I was here on that conversation because I remember mentioning Twisted Metal, the TV series. And that had 2 seasons. And the first season was ripped by critics, and the second season was praised by critics. It's got a 63 and a 90 something, I think, for season 2 over at RT. Similar, I guess Fallout was another game that, you know, had that became a streaming hit, right? I think they just need to be very, very savvy in what they're doing with future game properties.
Yeah, because they also have Burnout, I think, coming out, and that's one where I said I'll just trust my kid on whatever he says about it, because that's one of his favorite franchises. And
okay.
And there's a few they're going to try. Like I said, we're going to get a glut of them, and it's going to be just like the 90s all over again. You watch.
I want an elevator action adaptation.
Like, and this is why I'm not so sure Street Fighter is going to do so well, because guys, we got to remember how bad the original Street Fighter was, and even then we were reminded how much Mortal Kombat dwarfed Street Fighter's actual, you know, fan base in comparison. So if Mortal Kombat's playing like this, that's not good for fucking Street Fighter. Like, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Agreed.
But let's see what you guys are talking about, because we have not touched on any super chats at all.
Bring them.
Well, we touched a couple, but not enough. Patrick Robinson says with $4.99, Mortal Kombat 2 and Sheep Detectives are 2 of my favorite movies of the year. Shame they are underperforming. Well, I wouldn't say Sheep Detectives is necessarily, but Mortal Kombat 2 is definitely underperforming. I think Sheep Detectives
was never going to open number 1. Not in this.
Right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It could do well. It may have legs. We'll see. Wasn't impressed by the trailer.
It could have 4 legs, huh? No, I think that the Sheep Detective is basically a movie. What it's meant to do is come out, make a few bucks in the theater, and then it's going to make all the rest of its money on streaming. It's probably got a streaming deal. So, well, it's an MGM movie, so they made it for Amazon. That's right. Yeah. For some reason, I kept thinking that was an Angel Studios picture. I don't know why. I don't know why. I really don't. It does. See, now that's the thing. That's the movie they should have made instead of Animal Farm, right there.
Yep. Where's that?
I would even say Sheep Detective took some of Mortal Kombat 2's money as well.
It may have. Well, and I said that don't sleep on that for Mother's Day, and I'm curious how much if it made more money on Mother's Day than it did the other 2 days, because, like I said, that's of all the movies that are out right now, I know that's the one movie my mom would want to see. So I was just taking that into consideration. I tried to yesterday, but she didn't want to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you said that. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, so they were helping me put together my video games and stuff, and I got her some gardening stuff for Mother's Day. So anyway, but yeah, I'm glad to hear that these are your 2 favorite movies so far of the year. And this is a good year so far for movies. Last year was a decent year. I think this year is shaping up so far to be good. I mean, the biggest disappointments are probably going to be the 2 biggest movies of the year, I bet. Endgame and Dune. I bet you $5.
Well, no, there's Odyssey for the run. That might be a
that fucker. Honestly, I would say that thing's a dead man walking. The audience is not with this thing.
No.
The way they reacted to those, because I saw the two different trailers, but one before Michael and the other one before the other. The audience just wasn't there with it. They just no. I don't know if this might be one of
I
the
think
biggest
the
disappointments of
casting,
Nolan.
because that's like the thing, it still suffers from the inclusive casting.
Yeah.
And it's a disaster.
It's going to do okay, but I don't think it's going to be a hit.
It'll be one of his lowest since probably Tenet, which was because it was during the pandemic. I'm seeing things like they've cast a Troon to play Achilles. It's drab looking, but what I see more than anything, because I think you're right, Andre, the casting's not helping. I think more than anything, I'm seeing a lot of rumblings among the Greek community that this is not, they're not representing any Greek people in this film at all.
No.
And
No.
Not obligated. Nolan's not obligated.
Damon's closest to it.
Included.
What does that matter?
For inclusion.
I'm just saying I'm seeing the
Who gives a
rumbling.
shit
I'm not
about the
saying
Greeks?
it matters. I see the rumbling, right?
You
And
know
I
that reminds
it
me of?
matters. Representation does matter.
Yeah.
And
Oh, now it matters. Now it matters.
oh, no. It's always mattered. Listen now.
Okay.
Don't get uppity.
Don't get uppity. All right.
The other thing,
Don't get uppity, brown boy.
the problem is that the word is getting out that this is not an adaptation of the original Homer poem. It's an adaptation of the feminist Emily Wilson's translation, where she intentionally feminized the language. And
So it's the Wicked version.
Now you're talking. See, now you make a little more sense, Chris.
See,
Well,
now
I
it's
see the best for last. Save the
Take
best.
off your
But all that rumbling's out there, Paulie. It's you've seen it. I mean, I'm not telling you something you don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree, man. I'm still gonna go see it because it is Nolan. I'll see it on the first weekend.
No, of course, but
I don't think it's gonna go well.
Me either.
You know what I think it's going to be? Like, this is Netflix and Lauren Hissrich, The Witcher all over again.
Oh,
where you
gosh.
basically have a new take on Slavic folklore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Lauren Hissrich, and she's like, I've been looking for this quote, but she was like talking about like, well, we have to make it more diverse and inclusive because it was made in Hollywood. And I would hope that the Polish people, the trolls who are complaining, would understand that this is no longer theirs. She said something to that effect. Because basically Polish and Slavic people in general were excluded from the making of The Witcher, which was a take on their folklore.
Yeah, and I see this and I'm looking at it going, he's just doing this. And I know what Andre's saying, but a lot of this has to do with Oscars. Let's be fucking real. Nolan stacked this cast full of diverse people so he can guarantee he's going to get some Oscar nods. And let's be real, that's what's going to happen next
Totally
year.
disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the reason at all.
You don't?
No. He already has his Oscars. I think he's just bored. So he's
maybe.
Let me
That's a good answer.
Let me do something so challenging, so different, right?
But that's
because
pretty
honestly,
dumb.
the Oscar requirements he already has because the fact that his wife is a producer. So,
all right, point taken there. But this is the kind of thing I can see Hollywood creaming over. And they're overlook everything else. This is going to be this year. That my point was I was getting to is this is going to be this year's whatever that Leo movie was.
One battle after another.
One battle after another. Yep. Because the audience is going to reject it, and Hollywood's going to say, "Hey, you guys are nothing but a bunch of racists for rejecting it."
It's really too bad because there's some great actors. I think this is the wrong project.
This is set up to be nothing but a disaster. And when I saw that trailer this last week, because I hadn't really seen the trailer yet.
Oh, I haven't either.
I watched they showed the original trailer first, and then before Mortal Kombat, they showed the new trailer that just dropped. And that one really turned me off. The first trailer was like, okay, this might be interesting. But then the second trailer is very Tom Holland heavy. And I'm like, wait a minute, you want me to buy Tom Holland as Matt Damon's kid? And then you got all this other shit going on.
Oh, I got worse for you than that.
Go ahead, Andre, please.
You know who plays Achilles?
We already know who plays Achilles.
That's a rumor, though.
No, it's true.
The rumor is, and probably true, Ellen Page.
Yeah, that I already knew.
Yeah.
It's Elliot.
Come on.
That's who they want to be called as, referred to as.
Fine.
Elliot.
Elliot.
I will
I'll call him Alienette.
And Refer to
listen,
her as Ellie.
I'm
if
fucking with
that
you,
will make her
Andre.
happy. So, yeah.
But
You know
just-
what? If that's the case, you go from a Brad Pitt 20 years ago to Elliot, whatever Page. That's pretty bad.
Let's just call him Alien Page because that's what they look like now.
And Leguizamo,
Yeah.
what's Leguizamo doing in this
Fuck.
movie? Come on.
I don't know. He's got a bunch of old
Leguizamo-
makeup
Charlize
on and shit.
Theron, wait a minute. Charlize Theron. I'm going to quote what somebody said on Bleeding Fool in the comments about that. Why did Nolan hire the 3 biggest assholes in Hollywood for this cast? You know, and listing those 3 people. And I'm
You might
like,
as well just.
Well, who are their agents? Because I
I was gonna
bet
say
they
you
have
might
the
as well
same
hire
agent.
Mark Ruffalo while he was at it too, and Seth
well,
Rogen,
yeah, I,
and
mean,
just
I didn't know they were the top 3, but I thought it was a funny comment, right?
no, but like you might as well get everybody that everybody hates and throw Ziggler in there while you're at it too.
Golly. Yeah, maybe Ziegler was being one of the Greek goddesses when she was doing her little.
It's
No.
not just one, one casting. It's like
No.
multiple questionable casting. That's why everyone is, up in with the uproar. But ultimately, this is Nolan's vision of what he perceives as, you said, Wilson's, the Odyssey. It's either going to work or it's not.
Yeah.
I happen to think these are a lot of very talented actors, but it's probably the wrong project.
Mm.
But if you get the
Yeah.
call, you're not going to say no to Christopher Nolan.
No, but hopefully
mm-hmm.
this is a wake up call to Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what I'm
If it
saying.
goes wrong.
Hey, I'm the one that brought this movie up right now because we're
Yeah.
talking about what are going to be the biggest disappointments this year. I think that one's
And
in
I
the
agree with
running.
you. That will too. Yeah,
That's in the running.
it's definitely in the running. But I think the 2 biggest disappointments of the year are going to be Endgame and Dune. Maybe you're right on the other one, but
I hope I'm
We'll
wrong.
be able to predict Endgame and Dune. Maybe I'm not as convinced as you are.
Neither. That would be very disappointing if.
well, here's the
an
thing
old-
I think about Dune.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it's going to do well box office wise,
Mhm.
but there are so many people that are oblivious as to what the story actually is.
Mhm.
That has anybody here ever seen a video when a parent who is a horrible parent decides to show their kids the prequels before they show them the first Star Wars,
No.
and then they get the reaction of what happens with the whole Darth Vader thing again when they realize their hero is now a villain in episode 3? Yeah, that's kind of what's going to happen to everybody in Dune 3,
Uh-oh.
because everybody's not realizing that where this is going unless you've read the books. So like,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Word of
Yeah,
mouth is
so-
going to kill it.
so a lot of these girls that are all up on fucking Timothy Chalamet in this movie and think he's the god and the king and all this other shit, they're going to be like, he's just like Anakin Skywalker. He turned on us. You
Spoiler.
watch. That's what's going to fucking happen.
But on the end game or the Doomsday, I think that's what you mean.
Mikey!
Oh, I think Mikey we're on the same page here. I think the Doomsday, the tell will be, or at least a barometer is going to be how Mandalorian does. So if the Mandalorian does well for the first 2 weeks, then I think it might be safe to say, you know what? I think this Marvel's going to have their act together and people are going to want to go see those original characters that they were thrilled with. I don't know if the story's going to be any good. I'm not predicting the reviews,
Well,
but will people go out to see it? And maybe, I think they might.
let me see if I can find this
movie?
Mandalorian reaction video because
17.
I'm not thinking Mandalorian's going to do very well. But let's get through some Rumble rants and
Yeah,
some
let's
please.
go through
super
some
chats. Fundo Shinjin says, as a martial artist, I think Mortal Kombat stuck too closely to the game's motion capture. It felt less like real fighting and came out stiff. The sets and fatalities are great though. That's a good point. Maybe that
In other
could be.
words, too much like the game.
Mexican
Could be.
Iron Man wants you to turn your camera on, Tom. And keep it on.
I don't want to because I got a bunch of crap everywhere. Anyway,
It looks cool, man. Everything looks cool.
no,
behind
I'm
you.
moving shit around. I got boxes behind me and stuff. I'm
They
hiding
can't
with
see
my
it.
fat
They
ass.
can't see it.
So like, yeah. But now I forgot what I was going to say. Thanks.
Sorry. Hey,
Was that a
no, I
Rumble rant?
I just learned this yesterday. I know this is kind of off to the side, but I guess it's the actor who played Liu Kang in the original video game is the one who determined that his final move was going to be. It was a complete accident. Because Liu Kang was the only character in the original game who didn't get a fatality. And they were like, oh, that's fine because he's kind of the hero. He doesn't need one. But when they were doing the motion capture, the actor went and did this double spin kick in the air. And they're like, can you do that again? And he did it again. And so they used that and split it with an uppercut, and they made that his final move. So it was because of that actor. So I just found that was interesting. But yeah, it's just kind of cool how that game came together and everything with the Van Damme stuff. And I love how they're paying homage to Van Damme with Johnny Cage in this and stuff. So to me, I thought the movie was great. I thought it was probably the best Mortal Kombat movie I've seen yet, including the 95 movie. I love the 95.
You were talking about Mando, not.
But Mando wise, yeah, like. There's this reaction video out there from the usual suspects loving the shit out of the 20-some minute preview they saw.
Okay.
What was
but
the
Chris
first
Gore, from my
15 minutes of the
understanding,
film?
but from what I understand, what Chris Gore said, he said it wasn't very good. So I'm thinking that the audience is not going to be on board with this film because the right people or the wrong people are saying the right things for Disney, and that's the thing that I think.
Well, there will always be the reliable shills, and there will always be the people that are happy to consume slop. Okay.
So one of our guys saw it with Gore was like it's a little mid, but it has potential. So he wasn't like totally thrown under the bus yet. So I'm like, okay, so it's mid to bad according to our friends at Film Threat.
Which is about what I expected, but that's not what you need to hear. You need to hear it is fucking amazing.
Right.
Star Wars is back. Those are the things you need to hear, and we're not hearing them from the right people anyway.
That's too bad.
But I'm trying to find this video clip, but yeah, I can't find it. But of course, it's full of all the under, 20, 30 something YouTubers who.
Is it like an out of the theater reaction video? Okay.
Yes, and they all have, and there's not one straight white dude among the group. What? I'm not even kidding, dude. I'm trying to find the video.
What the fuck does that matter?
Because the demographics for Star Wars are not being represented at all here. It's every other demographic that isn't a Star Wars fan, pretty much. And again, it's like Star Wars didn't get the note.
Straight dudes.
Who are the people that you're saying that the video is people of color who are reviewing it, reacting to it?
Yeah, it was a bunch of like influencers. So
and they all happen to be people of different color.
Yeah, but they didn't have Chris Gore on there going, it was mid.
Yeah. Well, why would they? Why would they?
They're not.
I know they wouldn't, but I'm just saying.
They're fucking.
My whole point was it was made up completely of non-white and or straight people. That was my point. All under the age of 30. If that makes sense. So
I had, Nielsen data came out recently on these Star Wars movies. I know you guys saw this. It's on Bleeding Fool 2 at bleedingfool.com, where Nielsen showed that even on Star Wars Day, the sequel trilogies films are not in the top 10 at all. That's Star Wars, it's the original trilogy, and it's the prequels.
Not good for them.
And the Mandalorian show is there, but it's down the list, right? So the smart money is to do something with the Mandalorian and then lean back into the original and prequel stuff and forget all this new business. I don't know that Disney's ever going to get rid of Rey, but I don't think that movie's going to happen that we were told about.
Oh no. And we dropped a video on this yesterday. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I did. Going back to the box office, going back to the Mando, I think the pocket is really good for it. I do too. It's going to help.
You think so?
It's the best date
next
they could
week.
Do. Yeah.
Totally, man. Yeah. Totally.
Okay. We'll see how well it plays.
I mean,
because I agree with you. It doesn't have any real competition.
And they're doing they're doing their marketing right internationally. But I mean, I heard the same things you did because I immediately asked my guy who came out of there with Chris, like, what's up with those 15 minutes? He's like, I'm like, oh, really? Fuck, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find the video, but I wish I had it. Somebody out there that has it and can send it to me.
I'm telling you, they should not have the Hutts speaking English. I think that's stupid.
But it's just like every other video we've seen in the past 10 years where you have, like I said, the under 30 social media influencers come out and praise it and say all the buzzwords, and it's everything.
Grace love it. Grace
the
Randolph
video you're looking for, is it like a Rings of Power influencer?
Yes, it's like one of those videos. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so like that, nobody in there was over the age of 30, no straight white dudes at all. And I know that for a fact because they were standing together holding each other's hands. And then the other two guys that were just white dudes that were there, they're questionable. Like,
Are we talking about the audience for Prada now?
no, we're talking about the Mando audience, the influencers.
Oh, okay, right.
There was an influencer.
So, like I said,
event.
it's like
Well,
they're
they
doing
are
everything.
influencers, of course. So yeah, and they're not going to hire people like us.
No, but Chris was at the
terrified of
same fucking screening. You must have stepped away because that's what the point we were making is they didn't have any of the real reactions. Yeah, so like they're doing this came out, and I wish we'd have got it in our video because I think Andre's starting to hit the nail here. Like they are their own worst enemy. Disney is in this whole scenario, and they keep making it worse. And it's not helping. And then you've got Mark Hamill coming out and doing what he did.
Oh gosh, yeah, don't even get me.
Because they actually had uptick in their ticket sales last week.
Yeah,
for Mando. And I think one of the main reasons is because people were speculating on Gina showing up in the movie.
Yeah.
Now watch this week, the ticket sales drop off like a rock because of what Mark Hamill did and shit like that. So I don't know. I don't think this movie was going to be that big to begin with, but
yeah,
Disney is not doing it any favors.
It's going against the headwinds right now.
Because if this is the way they're trying to present this to the audience, and if they're trying to gain the original audience back, because you guys just said it, that's the main thing they need to do here. Everything coming up, lined up, is exactly what they need to do to try and get the old fan base back on board. You've got the Mandalorian movie, which was the most popular thing on Disney streaming and Disney Star Wars period since. You've got, the Hail Mary with the Ryan Gosling Starfighter movie, which is your one chance because it's not related to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it could very well be decent.
Mhm.
And then on the heels of that, you've got, the re-release of Star Wars for the 50th anniversary in the original version, the non-special edition version. That right there, to me, is a cocktail set up to prime your audience to come back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
But if they fuck this Mandalorian thing up, they might as well just chuck all that out the door.
Oh, another
Because
thing that they do have going for it's relatively cheap, especially with the tax breaks, about 145 million
Mm-hmm.
budget. So, but
Well-
I'm with you. I'm with you, Tom. I'm hearing you.
Well, at least that's not I don't think they're about, the thing is with this, and this is where a script doctor I think is right. Disney with Marvel and Star Wars right now, I don't think they're expecting Mando and Endgame to really make, or not Endgame, Jesus Christ, Doomsday to make a profit. I think he's 100% right that they're lost leaders to get the old audience back. But Disney is working against Favreau and the people inside the studio by putting this shit out there, in my opinion. Because to me, it's signaling to the audience that this is this same shit you've gotten for the last 10 years, you're going to get some more of it. Because the wrong people are enjoying it. That's what I'm getting from this. And then you got the Mark Hamill shit on top of it all. You got the, is Gina going to be there? Is she not going to be there going on top of it all? There's more drama going around this movie than in the actual fucking movie itself. And we haven't even talked about what the movie's about. Because I hate to break it to everybody, it's a fucking retread of the original Clone Wars movie. A Hutt gets kidnapped and they got to save a Hutt baby. Where have we heard this story before? Like,
I believe there's something like that in Clone Wars that I've never even seen.
exactly. The movie they put out in theaters is exactly that story. Where we get introduced to Ahsoka.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see.
Snips.
We're seeing it Thursday night.
Fuck it. That is one of the worst experiences I ever had in a theater. I hope plug your ears. Clone Wars sucked balls, and that's why I never watched the fucking show, because I was like, this is garbage. What the fuck am I watching this for? And I shared a look with some sad sack in the theater, just like me, because there was nobody else there, going, God, are we this pathetic that we're the only ones seeing this piece of shit? And every time I heard the word snips, it just cut away at my soul. It's like, what the fuck is going on? This is why I can't stand Ahsoka. I know people have come and they love her now, but because of that experience, I could never get onto that show and I could not stand her. And that's why I'm just like, no, I could care less about this extended
For me, it
universe
was
shit.
the animation. I just can't get by that.
That too,
ugly,
yeah.
hideous animation. There's no way.
Are you
No
talking
matter
about
how
the
good it
animation, or are you talking about the character design, Andre?
Well, it's fine. The character design, then
Okay.
just the look of the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't
The
like
look
the
to
aesthetic
me
either.
is so off-putting that I can't watch it. Simple
I
as.
think the Rebels series was great. I agree with you about the Clone Wars. I don't know if that made you just tune out of all Star Wars animated stuff, but Rebels was good. It's very good.
And 6 may be right to a point. I've gotten to that point where I'm no longer a Star Wars fan. I just like the strawberry flavor. She's probably right.
Yeah.
I'm old and I'm allowed.
Yeah,
So
Kathleen Kennedy didn't want you, so
no,
that's
she
what
didn't want
happened.
me. So no, you're right. You're 100% right. So, but
Let's move
Tim
on here.
Hayes
We have
wants
20
us.
more.
He's one of our members, and hopefully we're going to do a member stream this week. Even though we promised one this weekend, we didn't.
We didn't promise one this weekend because
we
I
didn't?
knew. No, we didn't. I was very clear. Definitely not this weekend, but maybe next week.
Okay, you did say something like that.
Yes.
Then we got Mario Trillo, who's been here for 40 months. Thank you so much, Mario. Nicholas Horton says, Hail Tom and Andre. Thanks for liking my Motu tweet on X, Tom. Well, thank you for sending it. And then we got Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle, who says, good day, Owl. Good day to you. And then we got Jeremiah Hembry, who says, Snoop Dogg has a movie coming about him. Does he now?
I'm not surprised. Hey, but you know what? Cool. Bring on the biopics.
I think that's a joke. Come on.
No, it's
If
not.
they do it,
not.
this is the one good thing I think that came out of that Tupac movie. They got to get the kid who played him in that because he was like perfect.
Okay.
But, or maybe if I'm not, maybe I'm getting it mixed up with the one from Straight Outta Compton because both of those movies came out pretty close to each other.
I'm
but
just
anyhow.
not a fan of him as a person.
Snoop Dogg?
Me too. He's got an
Terrible
audience,
person.
though. I bet it'll do
In
well.
the neighborhood that I grew up in, he was a piece of shit.
Really?
And I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, okay. All right. I say dish the dish, but all right.
Yeah.
And then we got Jeremiah Hembry says, I think James Gunn keeps his job if Supergirl and Clayface do better than the Marvel movie this year. I think it's a given. He's going to be there till at least the end of his contract. Man of Tomorrow's shooting. The Batman's shooting right now. And then
No way.
I'm sure another Batman movie will be on its tail before long. And there's been some movement on Wonder Woman. So I don't think he's going anywhere real fast. So, but we'll see. Marksman 117B says Ellison's daughter released a video game 0 out of 10 trash.
Have you heard of this mix? It's called
No.
mixtape. It's called mixtape. You can't get hurt in it. You can't. There's no fail mode. You can finish it in 3 hours. It's like a nostalgia trip.
I saw that it got tremendous reviews from the gaming press, which don't even play games that only award for virtue signaling points.
Yeah,
they loved it.
Oh, they do. And the gamers themselves don't seem to like it at all. And even like there's this one shot that I've seen online. I haven't played the game, but remember when you used to put a pencil in your cassette tape to tighten it back up because maybe it got loose in the stereo or whatever. So you would put a pencil in it and kind of twist it. And they even showed that act in the game. But the way that they've designed the cassette tape, it's upside down. The writing's the wrong way. It doesn't show the tape. And they're even twisting the pencil counterclockwise. Everything about it is wrong. Yeah. And it's almost like, this is what it's like when people are making a nostalgia bait game, but that's all they're doing. And they don't really know what they're doing. And this is one of those, this is the Ellison's granddaughter that is part of the funding for this indie game that's suddenly getting 9s and 10s ratings across the gamer review world. Mixtape.
Well, at first it sounded like a safe space type game, and then you're saying like what you're saying, like that to me is be like, okay, the audience that you're making it for it would just drive them nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Like, this is all wrong. This is all sorts of wrong. This is wrong. That's not how that works.
Yeah. So that's a shame.
Which is funny because that's pretty much probably how our history is constructed. Like when we go through a lot of shit.
Yeah. About that, right?
Anyway, Wild Man Beyond says again, a Billy Idol biopic is a must.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hell
I
yeah.
don't think I'm sure they're considering it.
Well, who's they? But I think it's
every studio that has any anything to do with money or music. Yeah. So Warner Brothers and Paramount and
I don't see that doing really big money. Billy Idol?
When I can talk.
You know what? People said the same shit about Richie Valens in 1987.
Andre was saying something.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andre.
No, it's I just had to be able to speak English again because I lost the ability for a second there. But anyway, no. What I've always said about biopics, budget. Budget is everything. Of course, you do a Billy Idol biopic, but you don't think it's going to do Michael numbers, and you do not budget it like that. You see it as if this thing is going to do 80 million worldwide, that's massive, and you budget it for that. And then you sell it to different streamers. It needs to be made by someone like Lionsgate or something that can actually make money on it. That's how you do it. Keep it cheap. You don't have to make it a big budget thing. I mean, my favorite biopic remains Falco. That would be the Rock Me Amadeus guy who was the big track in the 80s. He was huge in Austria, and they made an Austrian movie about him. So obviously it's scaled for an Austrian release only, with some money coming in from Germany. And it's all you need. I mean, it's a movie that had like in millions of dollars, it's single digit. And it's all that was needed to make it justice.
I think the Billy Idol movie would do great if they cast Elliot Page as Billy. That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, it would, at the Razzies, it would completely clean up.
Notice how I said Elliot.
No, honestly, I mean, biopics used to be a normal part of, like, not just theatrical films, but television films, like I brought up before, too.
Yeah.
In fact, that Jackson about the Jackson 5 that I recommend that you see, Chris, if you want more of the Jackson 5 story, I mean, that was one of the highest rated TV movies of all time.
So was John Carpenter and Kurt Russell's Elvis, if you remember.
Yeah.
Huge.
So, and I mean, like, I made a joke, but it was true. Like, here's the thing about biopics. You don't have to really have known much about them. They just have to be known.
Yeah.
Richie Valens, when La Bamba came out, nobody knew fuck all about Richie Valens. He was basically a forgotten rock star.
That's actually that's totally not true.
It's no, as far as the main general audience, he was mostly a forgotten rock star.
If he was a forgotten rock star, no one would have went to the movie.
No, that's where people were reminded of him.
Part of the day the music died. We celebrate.
He was, but that's the only reason. But my point is that's the only reason he was remembered most of the time, because he only had 2 hits and then he was gone. And then most people didn't even realize who he was or anything about him until that biopic came out.
I think that was the mystique of that. The mystique of his story is that he died when he was 17.
Yeah.
What could have been. But yeah, it was a good film. I mean, the biopics, music biopics are big, Tom. You know that.
Exactly. That's my point, is it doesn't matter who the subject is as long as it's done well. Because even Richie, who is not Buddy Holly, right? Who's not the Big Bopper. He was just a kid who happened to have a couple hits, who's historical because he happened to be on that plane that night. Nobody knew the rest of his story when that movie came out. That was my point. And even his family was like, they were glad that people were finally getting to know who Richie was. Because otherwise he was just this kid from the barrio who happened to take a Spanish love song and turn it into a rock hit. Like, that was pretty much what he was known for, other than dying with Buddy Holly.
Speaking of Buddy Holly, that's probably one of Gary Busey's best performances.
And it's probably one of the worst biopics ever, is the sad part.
It is. Yeah, it's not good.
I know we're trying to
wrap
up.
Gary Busey.
How do we feel about, I know we're trying to wrap up, but how do we feel about biopics being done with the subject people still alive?
Them are tough because you usually have to go through them. Because if you get their blessing, then you have, is it sanitized to shit? Or if you get it to where they don't give their blessing, and then the fans just reject it outright.
Well,
right, so that's
8 Mile
the problem.
and Rocket Man both did great. Eminem and Elton,
I have an idea there. How you do a biopic about someone who is still alive is you do a different movie completely that involves them and the part of their life that can be covered. I'll give you one example. There's a movie which actually is a biopic about Joe Weider, who started like modern bodybuilding and stuff like that. Right, did all of the magazines and everything like that. And few people know about him, but he was instrumental in making Arnold Schwarzenegger famous. So that movie is also a soft biopic about Arnold Schwarzenegger, covering his bodybuilder years, which is a way to do it. So it's not officially an Arnold Schwarzenegger biopic, but functionally it is, because you then cover the life of someone who died in the 80s. You focus on that period, And there you also get into the origin of Arnold without doing anything else. That's one way to do it. Do a biopic about someone else who's still alive. Focus not on their life, because it's still in progress, but on something else in which they were part.
That's kind of what that's why I brought up Complete Unknown. It's very similar, right? Bob Dylan's very much alive and still with us. But I felt that movie did an excellent job, and it didn't feel like Bob impeded it at all, because it's about a very specific point in Bob's career, and the whole movie, it just works for what it is. And frankly, I thought it was one of the better biopics I've ever seen. And, you know, that was the bigger hit last year as far as biopics goes. And this year it's going to be Michael. And, you know, we've had other ones in the years before. We've had Rocket Man, we've had Bohemian Rhapsody, and a few others that have done very well. But like I've said, for every one of those we've had a dozen of the Tupac or the other ones. You know, not everyone gets to be Straight Outta Compton. People forget that was a big movie too. Yeah, the Notorious B.I.G. movie bombed. Yeah.
But Selena did good, right?
Didn't 50 Cent's movie bomb too? And he played himself in it.
Oh, the Selena movie did not do well, actually.
It did. I thought it did like 30 something million, 40 million. No, it's a great movie.
Yeah, there was the Runaway biopic. That one was actually fairly decent, and the only movie I can stand Kristen Stewart in.
What about that Tina Turner one? Did that?
The Runaway, that was a lot of fun.
That's a classic. What's Love Got to Do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was done, because what's weird is Angela Bassett played Katherine Jackson and Tina Turner, I think, in the same fucking year. And she got nominated for, because it was Michael who picked Angela Bassett to play his mother too. Most people don't know this, because she was like just like a small character actress at the time, but he's like, my mother's got to be very pretty. So
the woman who played her in this movie, Michael, was great.
Nia Long's great. Well, she's a
Nia Long,
classic actress. Yeah. So I mean,
still hot.
She was perfect.
The Ray Charles movie.
That's another one that we forgot to bring up. Yeah, that did very, very well.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the Schleppy McGee story myself.
Dr. Demento story. There we go.
I'm waiting for the Josephus Jackson, the cousin that Michael stole everything from. His story.
Yeah, Joe Pat says
the Beatles are coming out with them, right?
Yeah, four of them. 4 Beatle movies actually, and Kiss. So we'll see. Kiss would actually be a pretty interesting one. And I'm surprised that they missed the boat on doing the 4 separate movies for Kiss. That makes more sense, because then you could actually emulate the 4 covers.
Yeah.
And because each member of that group probably has more of a story to tell than the Beatles.
Well, I heard Elliot Page is playing all Kiss members.
All of the members?
Yes.
Actually, you know, it's sad. You know who is playing one of the Kiss members so far? They do have one member cast, I know. One of the Jonas Brothers is playing Paul Stanley.
Wow.
I know that.
That's a good choice.
Shit. Not bad.
Yeah.
That's a really good choice.
Did a musical biopic on the 4 Seasons. You guys remember that? Like 2014, 2015?
Vaguely. I remember the Jersey Boys one. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's all right. It was based on a play, though, and they didn't really translate it too well, I guess.
It did okay at the box office.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Clint Eastwood directed that one, didn't he?
That's right.
So shut up.
He's a huge music fan. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on the Sheep Detectives thing.
But anyway, so FWIW, what is that? For
what it's worth.
For what it's worth. Okay, thank you. Tom, I took my own mom, your own mom, not somebody else's mom, just to be clear. Took my own mom to Sheep Detectives. We had a great time. It was quite the charming, wholesome flick. Yeah, and that's what I think that people were expecting, and they got that out. See, that's what I'm seeing here is like people are getting what they're expecting out of these films, right? Michael, same thing. You know, Devil Wears Prada. Sure, it's not as good as the first movie, but it's good enough that women are going to see it and they're talking about it. You know, that's the thing, is you got to make these movies. Mortal Kombat's the only one that seemed to just kind of miss the mark. And I'm not sure if it's just the timing or if it's just that's the ceiling for these things. That could very well be. But yeah, DCB Titan says the reason the anime movie has a long title is because the anime is based on a light novel, and there are so many light novels that you have to explain the story in the title because nobody has time to read a synopsis. But you can't just come up with a title for it? Like, I guess I just don't get... I mean, I guess maybe it's just a difference in the culture, but I mean, I joke about it, but I just find it weird how they translate, I guess.
Well, it's still making money no matter what, but there's something about marketing where it's like, you know what? Come up with something clever for the American release.
Yeah.
So someone just didn't do their job. They're like, we
I
don't
mean,
need to. It's
A
gonna make
great
money.
example of that is when, Captain America came out. Like, outside the US, Captain America wasn't that well known, so they called it the first Avenger outside the US, right? You just come up with something like that. I mean, and again, at the same time, I kind of find it charming, so I understand why they do it, and that's part of what makes it what it is, I guess. So I don't want to take that away from anybody. Eddie Fragoso, that's if I said that right, says, anyone watching regular show lost tapes today? No, I cannot say I have. Never was into the regular show.
Nope,
Anybody
sorry.
here a fan?
I don't know about it.
I think they just dropped those today.
That's what he says.
Cartoon Network. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm
Funny
not a
show.
fan, so I don't know much about it.
Funny show.
Never heard of it. So.
Never heard of it.
Mike and Ayers says Mortal Kombat 2 showed twice that Shao Kahn could lose Sans immortality, so the more important, harder task was going to hell to break the amulet. Girl boss my ass. Yeah, this is an argument that's going around, and I feel like it's being misrepresented by a few nerds, possibly by people who haven't even seen the film. Like, I had a few minor issues with some elements of the film, but it was more or less just how it was edited, right? Like, and I could see where people would get this from the film, but I don't feel like at any point anybody's being sidelined or overstepped or anything like that. The characters are as they should be. Katana has a very important part of the story, and it plays out here. It's very much like Thanos
And this
Gamora.
actually, for those that have seen the movie, you're not going to spoil anything in more detail, but for those that have seen here, this is a tremendously good point, because she would have been nothing without Cage. She would have been toast without him doing what he did, which is being referenced here.
Well, how do I destroy this thing? I don't know. Maybe there's some instructions. Yeah, let me look on the back. You're right. Oh, one ring to rule them all, one ring to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that actually is there. So yeah, I mean, it's a love letter to New
I
Line
love
Cinema.
that bit.
But anyway, yeah, no, this is actually a very, very good point, because for those that just have a really superficial view, you don't see this, that Cage is completely instrumental to the ultimate victory. It wouldn't have happened without him, and he's the one that comes through in the most critical aspect of the story there.
It's very much
good
like
point.
how the droid ship needs to be shut down in episode 1 so they can blow up, all that. It's got to have, everybody's got to be able to do their thing for it all to work. Otherwise it's all going to fall apart.
Exactly.
And I know some people are also bitching about having Johnny Cage being a quote unquote, past his prime loser and all this other shit. It's like, are you missing the whole point of the film? Like, yeah, he's basically Jean-Claude Van Damme. He never was this big, huge star, but he has this image that everybody has of him. And that's what he's trying to live up to in the movie. And it's, that's kind of what it's, can he be what he always presented himself as, is basically kind of like his challenge in the film.
We're getting into spoilers.
I don't want to get too into spoiler. That's why I was trying to,
move on.
Keep it kind of brief there. But Marksman 117B says fighting games are the smallest niche in gaming.
No, surely that they cannot be.
No,
I mean, there must be some sports games and stuff like that,
or clues,
much
like
smaller.
what do they call the detective type games where you got to go through? Like, I'm sure like those kind of games are.
I mean, there's so many like games to where they were with fighting game they go to. I mean, I haven't done any statistics, but that certainly cannot be correct. I mean, there has to be like some point and click adventure or something, which is far
not only
smaller than
that,
fighting games.
I mean, fighting games have zero entry level to get into, right? Like, so you don't have to have garnered a bunch of skill usually, because it's just a bunch of button mashing usually. Now, yes, you can gain skill, don't get me wrong, but that's the beauty of games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Streets of Rage and whatnot, is where you can just go in and play them and you don't have to really have the,
And Bradley says he's still
knowledge.
going to see it, waiting for second week. Yeah, we're going to need you. And Marksman also says Mortal Kombat IP has taken damage on the game side for years now. Yeah, this is
what
true.
I was
Mortal
bringing
Kombat
up.
1,
Yeah.
probably didn't do any favors. Bradley also refuses to see the Odyssey's done with DEI casting. I think that the Odyssey probably is going to be the last huzzah of DEI casting. Depending on how it goes,
Is it going to be the
this
actual
is
final
the last time we're going to see that.
Maybe.
Certainly,
It
to
might
that
actually
point.
be.
Yeah.
And then we got
Yeah, too many white people in the Odyssey casted, so hopefully
Totally.
we can
Absolutely.
get
Need
all
more
of them out.
Grecians.
Get
More
them out.
Grecians. More Grecians.
Get them out.
John Evan Bear says, "How worrisome is the box office for Mortal Kombat 2?"
But speaking of week, we need to see the week.
Give it a couple weeks.
Yeah.
The
But it's
tone
not great.
Like the tone I'm getting from the people I talk to, where that it just was kind of disappointing, but they kind of seen it coming, but they were just hoping for some walk up traffic and stuff. But I think that there was the Michael was the thing that they really just it was the thing that nobody expected it to hang on this long. I think is the bigger thing that's going on in Hollywood right now. Because especially, like, you got to remember, the media, the people involved in the studios, like, no studio wanted to touch this movie. That's why Lionsgate wound up with it.
They always underestimate me.
Because that's what I say. Why wouldn't Sony release this movie? They own the fucking music.
Yeah, of course.
Because they didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole either for some reason. Everybody in Hollywood thought this thing was going to be a huge disaster and that the audience was going to react to it with nothing but vitriol.
Yeah.
It totally took them by surprise. Yeah.
Performing for sure. Remember Neil Blomkamp's video game movie a couple years back?
Oh,
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo, yep.
That did about 125 or so. And I don't know if that was considered a hit or not. I don't remember what the budget was on it, but
it was probably fine. But the issue with that was Blomkamp. Like, Hollywood does not like him for some reason.
Yeah, okay. It's a good movie. My wife and I enjoyed it.
And I think it's because he's better than most of them. And he knows it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, we've talked to enough people that know him that, like, I'm to this point where it's like, why isn't he the guy they were tapping for Star Trek or Star Wars or a Marvel movie or any of this other shit? He's the only guy who's had decent ideas for Alien or RoboCop. I mean, come on.
RoboCop for sure.
Yeah, they fucked that up big time. But anyhow, it is pretty worrisome, but we'll have to see for the second weekend, like Andre said. I think the streaming numbers will probably help Mortal Kombat. Jason Webster says the bigger question is who's going to play Bubbles the chimp in Michael 2, The Wrath of Bubbles. Well, probably another CGI monkey.
This just in.
By the way, yeah, sorry, carry on.
Ellen Page is playing Bubbles.
Bubbles?
Yeah, breaking.
You set me up.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Andre?
No, just like keeping chimps as pets is a horrible freaking idea. And there you can do a spin-off horror movie. But different matter altogether. But moving on, and also on the topic of monkeys, Jason Webster says, don't you know, everyone wants Congo 2, Ape Shit in Africa, not Mortal Kombat.
That's right, bring on the Congo.
Produced by Kathleen Kennedy and everything. That'd be pretty amazing.
Amy man.
Then we have, let's see, where are we? Tom, do the next one. There we go.
Dark Hero Fan gifted a membership. Thank you for that, Dark Hero Fan. And then we got Jason Webster again, who says David Bowie should have appeared in more films. Oh, yeah, I agree.
That'd be something, totally.
And he's somebody who's had a couple biopics made about him already that have not done very well. So I don't know if you guys have seen those at all, but yeah. But he's somebody that's due for a good one. And then member for 61 months.
Bowie biopic was they couldn't get the music.
Yeah.
Huge. Why do it?
Yeah. Mark's 47's been a member for 61 months. Thank you for that. And then Pack and Proton's been here for 24. Were you on the Wheel of Fortune or you just went to the set? And then Barry the Music Man says Matthew Lillard is Plastic Man in Man of Tomorrow.
It's Plastic Man the one he's playing. I saw that he was announced.
Is he really though? Because I thought James Gunn came out and said that that's not true, that he was not cast in Man of Tomorrow.
I don't trust anything James Gunn says anymore.
At this point, I agree with you. Like, I don't know if I can trust him on this one.
At this point, I trust Barry the Music Man above James Gunn.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like, I don't know where you have it from, but I'm willing to trust that more than anything that.
And I keep forgetting to ask about it. So, I don't know.
Ask about what?
If Matthew Lillard is really going to be in it. Because Plastic Man makes sense. Because I was going to say, he could play a good villain.
And we actually know that Plastic Man movie, it obviously never happened, but we know that one was in development as
Jim Carrey
a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, the one with Robert Shea was back in the day with Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Indie Shade says 24-Hour Party People is the best music-related biopic in the last 30 years. I have not seen that one.
It is a fantastic film.
I think I remember you talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Coogan is kind of like the narrator breaking the what's it called? The third wall, talking to the camera during the film. Fourth wall. It's so dang funny, but it covers the Manchester sound, right? And his big mistake as the real person is that he said no to the Smiths, and of course they went on to be huge artists, but they broke New Order and it kind of introduced the house Manchester sound. But it's
I have to check this out.
Excellent film, man. It's a badass film. You guys would really love it.
Oh, awesome! Thanks for the tip. I haven't seen it actually.
Really?
No, I haven't.
I think you'd really love it. Steve Coogan.
You had me at New Order.
Yes. Well,
okay,
they were Joy Division, right? So they covered the whole Ian Curtis because Ian's a character in this.
So this is Six sent this to me. Thank you. So this is why everybody's thinking he's Plastic Man. Just because James Gunn said, Matt and I sat in a trailer with the head of Warner Brothers, Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, on the set of Scooby-Doo in 2000, and told him we wanted to do Plastic Man. So, there you go. That doesn't say he's going to do anything.
But that being said, I can totally see a little do Plastic Man.
Yeah.
I want to be.
If Scooby-Doo had been a bigger hit, maybe it would have been.
You're not going to see how old he is as much. So, yeah.
Could not care less.
And then we got Pack of Protons who says, breaking, Trump considering Venezuela as the 51st state.
Not Cuba?
Not Cuba?
Not Greenland?
Yeah. And then Barry the Music Man says...
Greenland is the 52nd state. Thank you very much. And then all the people that spent their entire lives thinking America has 52 states, because there's many of those for some reason, will be vindicated.
That's right. Just get these gas prices down, Joe. Come on.
No shit.
Work it out.
Barry the Music Man says Kiss needs a miniseries to focus on all four. I see. That's the thing is I agree. Like, I don't know, Paulie, do you have a maybe kind of better take on this? Like the Selena series, was that probably better than the movie itself as far as capturing her story? Because I think that you would do a lot better to do this with a lot of these people, especially ones that span decades, to do it as a series instead of a movie. Because that's the biggest issue with Michael, is that it jumps through so much time so fast.
Yeah,
like we literally have seen half of his life already.
Yeah,
so you got a lot of the family in Selena, absolutely. I just didn't think the Selena, the person they got to play Selena was very good.
Right, but like we've talked about how Richie it'd be better to do La Bamba as more of a mini series than it would be a movie because there was so much stuff that they had to sidestep and get over, and like the real Donna and the other women that were in his life, and of course the movie rightfully keyed in on the brother relationship, and that's a big part of it too. But I mean, there's so much other stuff that was going on in Richie's life that they didn't even get near touching because it's just, you only got hour and 45 minutes to tell the story. And same thing here with Michael and many of the others, I'm sure.
With Kiss, though, the way that Gene Simmons is, if they did it while they were alive, which I think is the only way you could do it, Gene would want to either do Howard Stern and play himself, right? Or something, there would have to be some cool or unique or clever twist, maybe a theater and then a followed up with a series, or a series that leads up to some big finale movie. I mean, I don't know. It would be something different than what you've seen.
Gene's a producer on it, actually.
What's that?
Gene's actually one of the producers, yeah, on the Kiss movie.
One of the producers of a movie or a miniseries? I didn't know one was
a movie. They're doing a Kiss movie. Like I said, one of the Jonas Brothers is playing Paul Stanley. I know that.
Right. Yeah, you did. And he's actually now in the movie business. He's
he's been in the movie business for years, but yeah.
Well, they're putting out their first movie this year, right?
Yeah, that's that one that Dark Water one that or Deep Water. What is it, Paulie?
It's the one that's out at theaters now.
You were talking about the one that Gene Simmons produced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he's always been a film fan.
There's going to be something unique about it, though.
I wonder. I don't know. My thing is like I said, I think this is the one that deserves to have 4 stories, because the Beatles, look, they all were kind of on the same road, the same path, doing the same things. The only tumultuousness is like, oh, so what? Is George's going to be a little bit different than the rest? Because the rest of them is like, they're both there in the same room doing the same shit all the damn time when it comes to Paul and John. So what the fuck are you going to do?
Well, you just explore after the Beatles.
That's the thing, is that nobody wants to see that shit.
I don't know that anybody's going to pay to see Ringo Starr get married to Barbara Bach.
Exactly. Nobody gives a shit. Like, we want to see him in the cavern. We want to see him, becoming big, going to Hamburg, all that kind of stuff. That Sullivan Show. You want to see all that stuff. The Beatles are bigger than Jesus. All that shit. That's the shit you want to see in a movie. Like,
are they going to have? I just want to know: are they going to have Eddie Murphy as Clarence?
They better. Andre has no idea about that reference. It's a Saturday Night Live. It's one of the most famous Saturday Night Live skits where Eddie Murphy comes out claiming to be Clarence, the fifth Beatle that they cut from the album because he's black.
Yeah, he's black, but he wrote all.
And he's like, I got the proof. I got the tapes right here. And he plays it. It's like the Beatles
funny
thing. She loves you, yeah. And then he's just talking over
that skit in Kiss, and it would be true because the original guitarist that they clicked with completely and totally was a black guy, but they couldn't use him because he was black.
So I bet that gets left out of the movie.
I bet that gets
there was a Beatles biopic that sort of talked about that drummer that didn't.
Oh, the Pete Best one. Yeah. I mean, that's the more interesting story than Ringo. Ringo's literally like, oh, you used to play with us a lot. You want to be in the band? Okay. Yeah. Like, that's Ringo's story, guys. Yeah, that's
I don't know. I want to see the Rolling Stones biopic. When's that coming?
Oh, God. Yeah, I want to know how Keith Richards is
after they're dead. So in 20 years.
Still alive. Yeah. Sergeant Point Blank says David Bowie's Andy Warhol was amazing in
Basquiat.
Basquiat. How do you say it?
And that Basquiat was played by Jeffrey Wright. That's a good film.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. So we're caught up on Super Chats then. And with that, Andre?
With that, we leave it to our esteemed panelist. Anything you want to plug? So, Chris, let's begin with you. What you got going on? What should people check out? Which articles should they be reading?
You should always check out bleedingfool.com. I will say real quick, David Bowie's Nikolai Tesla in The Prestige is top shelf.
Oh, that's right. He played him.
Yeah. Have not seen that. Cool. You should. Right now, we're at the top half of the page on Bleeding Fool. We're talking about Michael's box office and what kind of legs it's got. We're also talking about the Nielsen data that sort of proves that the Disney Star Wars sequels, along with a few other red flags, that they don't have any fans left, any real fans. We got a first look at the Batman Part 2, some images that have been snuck out by the director, not snuck out, but leaked out. With the Batmobile with not snow tires, but in the snow. So
does it got cum stains on it?
I don't think so, but you'll have to look on bleedingfool.com just to see for yourself. And finally, right now, Jameson's got a story about Stephen Colbert's Martyr Act.
I saw that, and even Kimmel's going to run a repeat on that night, on his final night.
Yeah, well, it's all late nights self-inflicted demise. So bleedingfool.com. Appreciate it, guys. I had a lot of fun today.
Oh, we got a $20 Rumble rant from Garvin Ambrose.
What? Glad you checked.
Am I late? Saturday was my birthday. Too tired to think of something witty. Also, I saw in 2025 there was a John Wayne biopic in the works. Think it's dead now. Oh, I did not hear about that.
Me either.
Well, probably it is dead now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if I'd want modern Hollywood making a John Wayne biopic. They'd fuck it up.
I don't think that they would, because no one in modern Hollywood knows who he is.
So you say it was your birthday on Saturday? Well, happy birthday, Garvin, and many, 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 many more. I got to go to work. Bye.
Happy birthday. Belated happy birthday.
And Indy Shade says Bowie would have made a great Joker. Yeah, he made an interesting Joker. Very interesting.
Riddler.
Riddler would probably be better for him. I agree. Yeah. And then Tennille says, Tennille the 10th now, just so you know. Remember that South Park where the performers said, don't smoke and you can be cool just like us? Bando marketing reminds me of that for some reason. There is something off about this Bando shit. Something. And then Tennille brings in for some reason. Yeah. I even got my little crown here.
Let me see. Solo. Make yourself bigger. Why? Tell him that it's human nature.
And then I got the Mando one.
Well, that's dope, dude. They're Burger King was a smart move.
Have it your way, Tom.
Well, the funny thing is I think Burger King's kind of stuck with this deal because I remember when I worked at Taco Bell, PepsiCo lost so much money on the prequels deal they did that they said that they were never going to do a movie deal ever again for toys.
Wow.
I still have some of those.
And then Burger King took over Star Wars, and they have been ever since the Star Wars thing. So I think they got a contract.
Those classic glasses, drinking glasses that they came out with back during Empire or Star Wars, I think, man, those were top shelf.
And by the way, I just want to say that Tennille's been here for 54 months, by the way.
Which we do appreciate.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And Paulie, what you got going on later on?
Okay. I have a new video up. It's on the main page of the channel. It's a nice 15-minute breakdown on that Melissa Barrera controversy and stuff like that. It's a good video. It's up. It's new. And then I'm live Wednesday after Midnight's Edge with Lorena Creo and Sci-Fi for Jason of Sci-Fi for me, I believe. So
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And then
Florida
Jason-
girl.
Then Jason
sorry?
Webster was talking about
Florida girl, Lorena Creo.
Yeah.
She's great.
yes.
And then we got Jason Webster says breaking news: Pedro Pascal to play Lady Gaga in a singer in on the singer.
Biopic for Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it's just what we need.
Oh boy.
The other one I'm not looking forward to is Madonna, so we get to see her be a whore for 3 hours.
Ooh.
No.
I loved her music in the 80s.
You know what Michael said about her? She's disgusting, is what Michael said about her. She tried to fuck Michael.
Of course she did.
She tried to fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Andre, we got a video dropping? Or did it drop this morning?
We are not yet. We are not yet. But we have a video ready to go. So it'll drop in, hopefully sooner rather than later.
I got a hint on what it could be. It has to do with The Simpsons.
Yeah.
In a very famous Simpson episode. That been very good to me on the X, I should say. Let's just say that. So with that, take care of yourselves and each other, and as Andre always says.
Yeah, well, let's see if we get an intro, but whether we do or not, it is time for some...
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant outro.
Outro,
But it's
yeah.
time for some koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given.